Hello and welcome back to the Agostino Zinga Show with your host, Agostino Zinga, and this is episode number 910. That is nueve, uno, zero, nuevo, uno, zero, nuevo, uno, zero. What's going on? What's happening? What's crack-a-lacking wherever you may be? I hope you're doing well. I hope you are doing great. How am I? All things considered, not too bad. I'm looking a little bit rusty. I'm looking a little bit spooky. I'm looking a little bit worse for wear because I haven't got a haircut just yet, right? My hair hasn't been trimmed just yet, but I'm waiting until next week to get it trimmed and all that stuff because I'm looking a little bit bearish. I don't kind of like in my head, when I grow out my hair and my beard, I feel like I look a certain way. I feel like I got this like struggling artist, you know, misunderstood genius. You know, I think I've got that sort of vibe about me, right? Complicated fellow, you know? But in actuality, I'm probably sure, I'm all but certain, I just look like a bit of a pest, you know? I look like the kind of guy that if you were walking down the street, you should cross the road if you see me. You should fucking hold onto your bag, clasp it close to your chest. You should bring your kid closer into you if you see me walking down the street, you know what I mean? The kind of guy when I pop around the corner, you scream. But in my head, I'm thinking I'm like one of these contemporary artists that's like locked in my studio, painstakingly, you know, going over and over the same painting for the last 17 fucking months. That's how I actually feel on the inside when I look at myself with this crazy hair, this crazy beard. I'm feeling, oh my God, Agostino, you are finally coming into your brilliance, coming into your artistry, coming into your awesomeness, right? That's how I feel on the inside. But I know on the outside, the perception isn't the same. So it's a little bit humbling, you know, it's a little bit of a dose of reality in that respect. But regardless, you strive forward, you strive fripping forward. So what have I been doing these last few days? As I said previously, I was a little bit ill past weekend. I'm looking forward to tomorrow on the 5th is my highly anticipated asthma, whatever nasal issue, respiratory issue check-in. I usually have them every year, but obviously like a real man, I don't usually go. But this year has been kind of difficult. So I'm thinking maybe I should go this year. So I booked an appointment. I'm going there tomorrow and hopefully I have some sort of resolution to figure out how I can combat or alleviate or cure some of my ailments that relate to my respiratory issues, my allergy issues, my nasal issues, all that malarkey. Because many years ago, I did actually indeed have nasal polyp surgery. Many years ago. Many years ago, I had nasal polyps. I don't recommend you Google what nasal polyps look like, but essentially it's a buildup of these glands in your nose around here. And they usually block your, obviously, breathing and stuff. So I'd always be sounding very nasally. I remember some of you, if you've been listening to the podcast from when I was, you know, starting it, I don't know how many years ago, but if you've been around since the beginning, you'd know I used to sound very nasally. Now, some of it could be prescribed to adult multivitamins, right? Don't get me wrong. Some of it could be the consequences of doing too much gear. I know, I get it, right? Over the years, I've kind of indulged myself and I went crazy. We've all been that kind of road. We've all been in that place. If you haven't been in that place, you're boring. And if you're boring, I get it. Well done to you. Happy birthday. Hallelujah. Amen. But a lot of it was stuff that happened prior to that. So even before I got into going out and DJing and clubbing and whatever, I still had these issues. It wasn't a thing that happened because of the multivitamins. It's happened because I just had it. So I got nasal polyp surgery, which essentially requires you to obviously go under. But if I'm not mistaken, I think they do it with a laser. I think they kind of remove the polyps with a laser. I really wanted the doctors to give me the polyps so I could see what they look like, or put them in a fucking jar or something, so I can make a piece of artwork about them or something, because they're a big part of me. But unfortunately, the doctors, NHS doctors, don't really listen to special requests and just bin them. But I really wanted to see what the polyps looked like when they took them out of my nose, because I remember there were times, right, that my polyps were so big, the glands were so huge, and I was struggling to breathe so much that there was sometimes, this is really nasty. Please, if you're drinking and eating, please mute me for the next 5 minutes. This is very nasty. Please mute me for the next 5 minutes. But my polyps back in the day, like 10 years ago, 15 years ago, was so bad that I would take a big pen, you know, like a big biro. I'll take the lid of the big biro. You know, the big biro has a little thing where you meant to clip onto your trousers or your pocket. I would shove that thing into my nose and almost try and scrape the polyps out, which would obviously cause loads of bleeding and whatever, and it would obviously hurt as well. But it was getting so bad, I would try and scrape, I would try and poke and prod and pull polyps out. And sometimes you pull out little chunks of skin, little chunks of the gland itself, like flesh. It was disgusting, disgusting, disgusting. But I have to tell you, when I got my nasal polyp surgery done back then, I swear to God, even till this day, I'm still obviously pretty much clear. I know they said to me after the surgery, I remember they gave me like a little pamphlet, and it did say that in some cases it comes back, but I don't think it's come back. I think I check it all the time. I don't think I've got nasal polyps anymore. But I remember once I got the surgery done, it was such a relief because I'd never actually been able to breathe out of both my nostrils, in and out. I remember the first time I had a smoke, I was able to kind of like blow the smoke out of my nose. Legitimately made me want to tear up and cry. I'm not gonna lie, it sounds insane to say this, but the first time I had a bit of a smoke and I was able to exhale, I was able to blow the smoke out of my nostrils, and it came out of both nostrils properly. It didn't come out in a little sliver, it didn't hurt, it didn't come out of one, it came out of 2 nostrils as per normal. I felt like a king. It felt so good. And for the next 6 months or so, I was on cloud 9. Of course, eventually my allergies came back, and it was, it kind of felt like the same issues again. But a lot of the issues were because of nasal polyps. So I'm hoping going forward, I don't have a build up of nasal polyps. I don't think I do personally. If I had a nasal polyps, I would have probably felt it, or I would have seen it anyway, because I'm always inspecting my nose because of the past issues I've had. But I'm really freaking looking forward to this checkup on Thursday. Hoping I can get a resolution sorted out to find out what's going on, so I can maybe go into this summer not afraid of going outdoors, because I've got so many festivals I want to go to, so many events I want to attend. I don't want to be scared, I don't want to be scared. I really don't want to be scared. So fingers crossed for me. Fingers crossed for me. Talking about crossing your fingers, man, oh man. I've just finished watching Mobland season 1, and bloody hell, man, what an absolute disappointment it was. What a shitty series. So much promise, so much potential, so many great actors, as you can see here from the poster. Tom Hardy, Pierce Brosnan, Helen Mirren, plus a cast of others, right? So many great fucking actors, and such a dog shit, average, meh TV series. Someone said that this was meant to be the successor to like Gangs of London, right? Which I think was decent for the first season. Second season, it kind of fell off in a big way. But I don't think this is even as good as the first season of Gangs of London. It's terrible, man. It's terrible. There are some scenes that are okay. There are some scenes that are decent because the actors in it are really good. But as an overall thing, for episodes that only last around like 30 minutes, I think, if I'm not mistaken, like this series is absolute dog shit. Absolute pure and utter dog shit. I should have known anyway from the beginning. Even though I was a little bit enamored, because when Mobland started, I think the first episode is when the rival of Pierce Brosnan's character, his son and their son go clubbing together and they end up at Fold, and then Pierce Brosnan's son kills the other guy's son, right? That kind of thing. So or grandson, whatever. I should have known this series would be dog shit, because as much as I enjoyed seeing Fold on my TV, like it's kind of cool. Oh shit, it's this club I used to go to, or this club that I know very well, bloody blah blah blah. It's amazing seeing it on TV. Da, 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 da. Apart from that, that whole scene doesn't make any sense anyway. If you think back to it, why did Eddie kill Richie's son? Like why? They went out clubbing together. You got the feeling that for whatever reason, these two kids of these two warring gang leaders had become friends. So why would Eddie have killed him randomly after that night? Especially given what happened. Because in that particular episode, I think Eddie gets into a fight with some random kid in Fold, right? He gets with another kind of random scallywag gang guy. He ends up stabbing him a few times on a dance hall, which is fucking crazy. Somehow he escapes, by the way, which is crazy because Fold, if you've been to Fold, you know it's not a place where you can escape from. It's super small. So I don't think you could stab somebody in Fold and run away without security stopping you. Like, it doesn't make any sense. Or just you get stopped by somebody else, right? So somehow Eddie kills the kid, or no, stabs the kid in Fold, runs out of the club, and then him and Richie's son split. But then they meet up after for, you know, and to kind of, you know, lick their wounds and to talk about the night. And then somehow in that period, the time that we don't see on TV, we don't see on camera, Eddie snaps and kills the kid and cuts him up in little pieces and puts him in a suitcase. Fuck off, man. Fuck off. Fuck off. Also, what was the whole point of that Bella thing? Bella, one of the people in the character, one of the fucking characters in this fucking series, right? The one that's married to what's his name? Is it Kevin, right? The one that's married to Kevin. So Bella that's married to Kevin in the series, if I'm not mistaken, doesn't she? Let's see. Let me get the cast up on here. Bella that's married, like, there's so much stuff in this that doesn't make any sense. The character Bella, which I think is played by this actor called Lara Pulver, her dad is an MP, and on the side she's doing a job. She's doing some sort of hustle where she's trying to get this dude, I think he's from the Middle East, to do like a nefarious under the table deal with her MP dad. What was the point of that, by the way? I don't know. What was the point of this character? Donnie, Alex Fine. What was the point of fucking Sierra's husband in the series? He played the Harry role. He was the Harry of the, what's that thing called? What's that name called? McAllister woman, right? He's the Harry of the McAllister lady. But what's the point of him though? He didn't do nothing. He didn't really add anything to the story. I don't fucking get it. Am I the only person that felt like Harry D'Souza, played by Tom Hardy, in some scenes, it felt like he was about to burst out laughing? I don't know why, but in some scenes he's talking, he's having some sort of dialogue with his wife or somebody, and it felt like he was on the brink of bursting out laughing at every moment. Cool, whatever. Pierce Brosnan. I know Pierce Brosnan is Irish. I know it, right? I get it. I know he's from that place. But his accent, please, no more. I don't understand that, by the way. The accent was a bit weird. The kind of, the tick, the kind of weird side. Him trying to be like, I don't know if he was trying to be bipolar, if he was trying to be manic. I don't know what that thing was, but whatever that thing he was going for, I fucking hated it. Helen Mirren playing Maeve, the kind of skullduggery, evil, conniving wife of the gang leader, Conrad Harrigan, who was undermining him secretly behind his back at every turn because she felt like he was losing his touch and wasn't being as fierce or strong. Bruh, she should have died time ago. She added something to the story. She added another kind of dynamic because she was kind of, you know, she was basically his closest confidant, but he didn't know that she was going behind his back and doing some mad plays. But she should have died time ago. Somehow she doesn't die. Cool, whatever. I thought the fucking lawyer, she kind of died, and that was a bit unfortunate. I don't think she deserved to die, really, considering the circumstances. Paddy Considine, who plays fucking Kevin Harrigan, great actor. I thought he was fairly shit in this series, I'm not gonna lie. He looked like he was always depressed. Not sure if that's part of the role, but he looked like he was always waking up depressed. Like he was on the brink of crying every fucking day, just looking dour. Even when he shot the guy that fucking molested him in the prison. Even when he fucking point blank shot the dude who molested him in prison, he still didn't seem like he was happy. Like, I don't understand the whole reason why he existed. Jan D'Souza. Oh! Jan D'Souza. Harry D'Souza's wife. The one, oh my God. She has to be the number one most annoying character in this series is Jan D'Souza. Fuck her. At the end, freaking out. I just want us to be a family. I can't do this. Brother, it's too late now. You've seen so much. You know what your husband, like, I never get the role. I never get this role in series anyway. I never understand this role in series. Happens a lot. I think there was this role that was played in The Sopranos, I think. with the I don't understand why they do this. Why they have these? Because usually, from my limited experience of growing up in rough neighborhoods, most of the time, families that are like, you know, involved in nefarious things, they're usually a matriarch. You know, it's not usually the men that are running those families. It's usually the women. They're usually the ones that you should really watch out for. They're usually the most ruthless, the most evil, the most vicious, the most violent. They're usually the ones that have to be calmed down. So this Jane DeSouza woman be like, I'm supposed to be a family. I'm supposed to go on picnics. I just want my husband. In the real world, she'd be the one fucking cleaning Harry DeSouza's gun. She'd be the one fucking fix him a breakfast so they can go on a ride out. She'll be the one fucking, like, you know, lying to the police that the husband was with her the whole day for an alibi. The women in this in the real world are actually really about that timing. They're on timing. They might look, you know, a different way, but they are on smoke. So this woman in this series being like a damsel in distress and wanting just to have like a simple life with her husband, even though she knows her husband is a fixer, muscle, hitman for a notorious London crime organization. Like, come on, brother. Like, come on. Like, what is this? Like, who would willingly get into a relationship with somebody who lives that kind of lifestyle and then just put your head in the sand and pretend that it's not a thing and then pretend in your head that he works for a fucking IT company or pretend he drives Uber? No, bruh. Your son kills, your husband kills people. Your son throws people off of fucking buildings. Do you know what I mean? He cuts people's fucking limbs off. That's the real reality of it. So on that fucking finale, on that episode 10, at the end, where she freaks out in the kitchen and she gets all upset as she's slicing her carrots and then inadvertently stabs him. Like, also, like, how does that happen? How do you go from slicing carrots to stabbing your husband because he's not a husband anymore? And even though you just witnessed a fucking all-out gang war that claimed the lives of a few people. By the way, R.I.P. Keko or Kiko or Koke, the Spanish guy. R.I.P. the Spanish dude. You did not deserve to die, man. You did not deserve to die. You did not deserve to die in that finale. That made no sense as well. Fucking shit. All fucking shit. All fucking shit. I don't understand it. The lady that was snitching. Is that her? No, Lara. Who's the lady that was snitching? Where is she? I don't know. She's here somewhere. Whole series. Fucking dog shit. I hated it all. And it's weird too because can you imagine how much you had to pay to get all these actors to be in this fucking series? Look at the names. Tom Hardy, Pierce Brosnan, Helen Mirren, Lisa Dawn, Paddy Considine, who obviously did smashing work at fucking House of Dragon, Jane Froggatt, Mandeep Dillon, Lara Pulver, Jeff Bell, Anson Boone. Oh, by the way, Eddie. Oh, the Eddie character. Oh, the Eddie character. Anson Boone. Well played, brother, because he did that Joffrey role really well where you fucking hated him, but oh, the character's fucking useless. I'm sure they're going to have him be a big part of season 2. If they do sign up for the season 2, if they manage to get a season 2, you know fucking white privilege exists. Because this show is fucking shit. If this show gets a season 2, you know white privilege is real. Because this show is fucking terrible. But big up Anson Boone. He played his role really well. He did that whole, you know, Joffrey thing well. You end up hating him. I don't get the point of him really, but he's probably going to be an antagonist for the next season. He's probably going to go against Conrad. He's probably going to go against his brother Kevin. He's probably going to go and try and get Harry killed. You know, like that kind of shit. I know it's going to be the thing, but terrible. Didn't make no sense. Jane, the actress Janet McTeer that plays fucking Kat McAllister. Again, what's the point of her? We didn't really get to see a show of her force. We didn't really get to see a show of her power, her influence, we didn't even get all this like spooky, oh my god, she's the real one. Oh my god, McAllister. But like, what happened? Nothing happened. Nothing happened. So, all in all, in my humble opinion, out of 10, I'm gonna give it a 4. Maybe even a 3. Pretty pointless, shitty series. A lot of great actors wasted on a decent kind of premise. Didn't really go anywhere. Most likely we'll get a season 2 because it's full of these people. But Jesus Christ, what a terrible, terrible, terrible series. I do not recommend. I do not recommend. One thing I do recommend though, and depending on your stomach for this, and again, trigger warning for all those of you guys that get sensitive about this sort of shit, Bibaa and Nicole murder in the park. This will break your heart. This documentary, if I'm not mistaken, is it 2 parts? No, I think it might be 5 parts. I don't know. Anyway, it doesn't matter how long it is. Just check it out anyway. Bibaa and Nicole murder in the park documentary, true crime. This will break your fucking heart, man. If you live in this country, if you don't live in this country, this will break your fucking heart. Essentially, the premise of it is these 2 sisters go out on a picnic, party, whatever thing they go and do in a park somewhere in Northwest London, sorry. And in the process of them being there all day, essentially, they unfortunately get murdered in that park. Not saying broad daylight, but quite near to where their campsite was. And what this documentary does is kind of unpack and uncover what led to it and all of the fucking errors with the police. The police are going to piss you off the most. The police will piss you off the most because essentially the family of Bibaa and Nicole had to find their bodies. The police were so inept. The police were so useless at their jobs. So these girls go missing. I think the boyfriend calls the police to report her girlfriend missing, and obviously the sister. And he said basically it was completely out of character, right? The police don't really take it seriously. They kind of fob them off. And then essentially every other member of the family, and some of them are in the documentary, the boyfriend isn't. That's how you know how heartbreaking this is. It's been a long time since I watched one of these true crime documentaries, and one of the main people involved in it, like a spouse or a partner, isn't involved. He's not involved at all. The boyfriend of the girl that died, Nicole, is not involved at all. He doesn't even give a soundbite, 0. That's how distraught he is over this fucking death, right? So every member ends up calling the police to report these 2 girls missing, and no one takes their call seriously. They kind of fob them off. They take the piss. They say they're going to file the report. They say they're going to send police over. They don't end up sending police over. The family start panicking, so they go to the campsite. They go to the campsite to go and see what's happened in it. And of course, they shouldn't have done that because number 1, they're going to disturb the evidence if it's a crime scene. And number 2, that's a police officer's jobs. They should have been there doing that for them on their behalf to kind of, allow them to not see certain things. But unfortunately, the fucking boyfriend goes to the campsite to where the girls were having a picnic and stuff and goes to see what happened. I think he also went there maybe with his parents or somebody. I think he went there with his parents. The boyfriend goes there with his parents, and then unfortunately he finds a knife covered in blood, and then as he's kind of looking at some brush, the bushes kind of next to where the girls were having a picnic, he sees their bodies. He finds their bodies there in the bushes. Just as he's about to go and check, he finds the body of his girlfriend and his girlfriend's sister in the bushes. So imagine how heartbreaking that must be for the boyfriend to find that. And also imagine how heartbreaking it was, because in these type of instances, the first person who they always sort of guess or whatever, who could be the culprit, is usually the partner, the boyfriend, whatever. So he's having to go through all of that whilst really and truly it's the police's ineptitude and whatever that led to him having to go find him in the first place. If they were doing their job, he would have never have seen that. And most likely he's never ever going to forget that image in his head ever again. And it's just truly heartbreaking, because then you find out later on that the culprit, the person who obviously killed these 2 girls, was a really young guy, an incel, who was also, weirdly enough, if I'm not mistaken, I think he's Middle Eastern, but he was also like a white nationalist, and he was also he believed in witchcraft. He was super into the cult and shit. So when they went and eventually kind of raided his room, they found all these spells, and he writ some sort of spell, some sort of like covenant, something relating to him killing women. I think he said 2 Pacific women of like who are black. And essentially, if he did that, it would have granted him special powers or money or something stupid like that. So the guy was really clearly like really psycho and crazy, and obviously a racist as well. And yeah, it's just a tragic story. I spoiled a lot of it for you already, but if you're gonna watch it, I recommend you do, because some of the accounts, some of the kind of testimony from the family is really heartbreaking and touching. It kind of shows you just how useless the police can be in some instances, especially when the people that go missing aren't like blonde hair, blue-eyed people. I've just seen the other day actually that there's another search going on for Madeleine McCann in Portugal, and I think to myself, like, these girls were left, their bodies were left in the bushes for like a day or 2. The boyfriend had to end up finding it because the police weren't taking the missing report thing seriously. And then this Madeleine McCann girl, like they're not stopping looking for her. Do you know what I mean? So like some police officers deal with this properly, depending on what your race is, and other people don't. The other really troubling part about this story is this. In this whole true crime episode, 2 of the police officers involved in kind of securing the crime scene were also sent to prison because they took pictures of these 2 dead girls' bodies in the bushes and were sending them to their WhatsApp groups and laughing and mocking the girls. And essentially, if I'm not mistaken, at the time, the pictures that they sent compromised the case. It kind of led to delays in the case. So you can it's a heartbreaking story all overall. I really, it's kind of a hard one to kind of watch and piece together. But if you aren't aware of the story, because I do remember seeing it on my timeline, because these girls were obviously really young and shit, and obviously very social media friendly and shit. So a lot of their profiles are out there, pictures of them together and stuff. They were very popular in their friendship group, local community, whatever it may be. So I do remember seeing on my time. I think I remember seeing a post about this actually on the Shade Room, or the Shade Bar, sorry. So if you're familiar with their story, Bibaa and Nicole, I recommend you check it out. If you're not, check it out anyway. And again, another heartbreaking story, another really, really heartbreaking story. And I recommend you check it out. Again, I'm not really the biggest Trim Guy person, but I did stumble across this and I kind of did actually enjoy watching it. It was quite insightful, just to kind of show you just how terrible the police are. Because I do watch some other true crime documentaries in the part. Like there was one, I forgot the couple. There's one about the couple from England who killed loads of kids in their house and buried them in the garden and shit under the patio. There's those type of stories that happen in like the 80s or the 90s, and you know, because it's back then and there wasn't any advancement in like police databases and computers and shit and processes, a lot of the police work was kind of shoddy and shit, and some of the misogyny as well didn't help. But sometimes it's kind of good to be reminded that police ineptitude, police, incompetence kind of is rampant regardless of what timeline we're in. Whether it's like in the 80s or 90s, whether it's nowadays, there are some instances where sometimes the police just fuck up a whole situation, and this is one of them. So yeah, check it out if you're that way inclined. Check it out if you are that way inclined. Moving on. Have you guys seen this clip? Have you guys seen this clip? It's 7 p.m. on Saturday and you're at a Matcha rave in Dubai. So as you can see here, there's people dancing on the rooftop of some buildings out there in Dubai, waving around their matcha, doing their cringy white people dance, and they're drinking matcha and eating ice cream matchas, ice cream flavored matcha, and also other treats that are flavored with matcha. And I'm not gonna lie, right? I'm not gonna lie, and I'm gonna be fairly honest here. There's nothing I hate more than people that drink matcha. On God. There's nothing I hate more than enthusiastic matcha drinkers. People who make matcha their entire personality, you should get thrown off the nearest building. You should get thrown off the nearest building. I don't know what's worse. The person that makes craft beer, the person that makes fucking IPAs, the person that makes street food, the person that makes tattoos, right? Shitty tattoos, the person that makes fucking, I don't know, tote bags and roll up cigarettes and mustaches and shit. The person that kind of makes that stuff their personality, I think they pale in comparison. I don't think they come close to the level of annoyance and idiocy and pure ridiculousness that comes from a person that gleans some sort of pleasure and identity in drinking a green grass-based beverage. You are a fucking loser. You are a fucking loser. The drink ain't that great, right? Matcha doesn't taste that great to begin with. Go fuck yourself. It tastes like dog shit. It doesn't taste that great. Nutritional benefits are debatable. If it tastes great, it's going to be full of fucking sugar anyway. So you might as well drink a fucking milkshake. And it's not an identity. It's a fucking drink. It's a fucking drink. It's not a personality. It's not a hobby. It doesn't make you interesting. Doesn't make you introspective. Doesn't make you smart. Doesn't make you intellectual. Doesn't make you introspective. Doesn't make you philosophical. Doesn't make you fucking whatever. You are just drinking a green fucking milkshake. Grass-based. It's fucking terrible. I don't care for it. But on the flip side, if people are drinking this matcha shit and trying to make raves based about it, because they want to abstain from drinking alcohol, because they're not allowed to drink alcohol in Dubai, because they're addicts and shit and they're in recovery, I'm all for it. If this is an alternative to you getting lit and getting turned up every weekend, I'm all for it. If this is a replacement for it. But we have to stop. We have to stop with the overuse of the term rave. I feel like rave has been co-opted in the same way that people co-opted and changed the definition of POV. Like POV used to mean point of view. Now POV doesn't mean point of view. It means an entirely different thing, you know? POV, me at a fucking Starbucks ordering my fresh Matcha. What does that even mean? You're fucking messing up and redefining and completely whatever, butchering the definition of what POV actually means as a phrase. It doesn't mean what it means anymore. So this whole rave thing is a bit out of there. I think it's just a gathering. It looks like, to me, it looks like an activation of friends, whatever, link up and shit. And I get it, maybe because it's in Dubai, maybe boozing is restricted, maybe you only have to do it in certain places. I don't know. That I understand it. But if you're going to make this your whole personality, I want to push you in front of a very fast moving train. That's what I want to do. I want to close my eyes and I want to thrust you in front of a very fast moving locomotive automobile, right? And then I want to see what happens there. Then I want to see how much matcha you can drink as your fucking limbs are screwing underneath that fucking locomotive. Then we'll see who's really bad. Then we'll see who's really bad. Talking about being really bad. Look at this news. Crazy news just popped up on the timeline. Super surprising to me anyway. Regarding Berlin techno fashion label NAKT. NAKT. And I'm assuming now, looking back, that NAKT is a play on Natch, which is the spelling of like which is a twist on fucking the German word for night, right? I think so. I think that's why it's spelled that way. Maybe I could be mistaken. But regardless, if you know, you know, the Berlin techno label NAKT has now gone bankrupt. And some of you will be familiar with it. They might have been, I think they might have been the first type, I think they might be one of the first prominent techno fashion labels that sold like bomber jackets and harnesses and chokers and little fucking jock straps and bikini sets and boob tubes and whatever rave wear people want to wear when they go to like a techno rave, right? That kind of Berlin stomper, wearing black Go Faster glasses, ridiculous fucking, you know, bicycle lock kryptonite chain thing around their necks, massive fucking septum ring, and whatever dark ninja gothic style, you know, Y2K, whatever inspired type of outfits. They were kind of the first to sort of synthesize that and put that out there. Personally, I didn't really mind their designs. I just thought the prices were a little bit crazy. I'm not gonna lie. I didn't really mind their designs. I also didn't mind their marketing. I think they were kind of, if I'm mistaken, they were a little bit ahead of the time. If you think about all the videos, all the marketing material out there regarding NAKT, they were very ahead of their time. All those cringy videos of people dancing in warehouses, doing that fucking techno Berlin stomp from left to right and shit, right? Shuffling their hips and shit. A lot of people, a lot of raves, a lot of promoters, a lot of collectives use that kind of template, use that style to sell and push some of their raves all over the world. It's a standard thing now. You know what I mean? There's streaming platforms based entirely on that whole aesthetic. So I think NAKT needs to be given some credit, some flowers for popularizing and being kind of first, I think, to sort of push that out there. But now, unfortunately, they've gone bankrupt. This is according to Phase Mag-DE. I've translated the article into English, so the grammar is could be a bit fucked up, but let's kind of get an idea on what's going on here. And I found this news courtesy of I think the techno subreddit. So big up the techno subreddit. So this is courtesy of Phase Mag. Berlin-based techno fashion label NAKT, which began in 2018 as an art project in Berghain, is insolvent, aka bankrupt. Bankruptcy petition was filed, but rejected. This spells the end of the trendy brand, which was particularly popular on TikTok techno generation for its dark fetish clothing. Selling out an underground brand through TikTok, the German website is down. NAKT last Instagram post dates back to November 2024. A reel with a popular DJ filmed in Berlin store. The fashion label's international website reads, "We're back soon. The CEO will share information about the next steps over time." A link to his personal Instagram profile is followed by a laughing smiley emoji. NAKT's customers, however, probably haven't had much to laugh about lately. By the way, RIP and big up anybody who orders something from NAKT. You're probably never getting that. You're probably never getting your refund either. So RIP to you. With NAKT, you stay naked. Was the indignant comment of an undisputed customer on the review portal of Trustpilot. The post dates back to January. He continued, "NAKT are scammers. No package, no reply," was a comment for another user, which is self-explanatory in its brevity. This is something I've always struggled to understand. Why is it that brands like this, why is it that social media brands are essentially built off the back of social media, brands that rely entirely on their community online to kind of get them where they're at, to kind of help them become bigger, are also the same brands that are very lackadaisical when it comes to shipping, very lackadaisical when it comes to just honoring the order, when it comes to just posting stuff on time. It always happens like that, isn't it? All of these kind of social media first friendly brands, they start off with good intentions, but as soon as the orders start rolling in, the pre-orders start coming in, they don't manufacture or produce the things, they pocket the money, and then they don't ship the items out on time, or they don't ship them out ever. It's a common tactic all the time, and it really feels disrespectful and a bit of a spit in the face in the people that helped you build your brand from the ground up. You should really be doing everything you can to kind of make sure they've got the item on time. And I just think as well, for me, a potential customer in the past, I'm never going to buy your stuff if I see one person complain they haven't received the things on time. That will immediately give me pause for concern. If I see one person in the comments complaining they haven't received their thing on time, and then I click the replies and you the page owner, haven't replied to that person, I'm never ordering. I'm never ordering from you because I can already tell, okay, cool, this person ain't serious about their business. So I think NAKT are already on a losing fucking ship already from there. It continues. What's going on at NAKT? The answer is now available. Via a consumer protection forum, not from the managing director himself, the portal informs about a ruling by the Charlottenburg District Court on May 15th. The court rejected NAKT's application for insolvency proceedings due to insufficient assets. The proceedings as requested by the debt cannot be initiated, it states. Wow. So they didn't actually approve NAKT's bankruptcy petition. Insane. That's sad, but simple reason, there's no money left. Oh shit. The debtor can't even cover the minimum cost of the legal proceedings with her remaining assets. Thus NAKT, which is just 2 years ago was considered the hottest fashion destination in the industry, will not be granted the appointment of an insolvency administrator, nor the creditors of survey, nor liquidation. For the company, which was represented by a fashion artist, Moritz Danner, this decision spells doom, resulting in a total financial loss. According to Consumer Protection Forum, an immediate appeal could be filed against the decision within 14 days. This means the company's creditors are left with their claims. There is no recovery. Numerous customers are likely to have claims against the company in recent months. They now at least have clarity. Shit. So I think even if the company is not insolvent, it's going to be hard for you to get your money back, you know, unless you file a claim with your credit card company or something. That's how, because I remember when I got let go from a company, when the company I worked for went insolvent, one of the reasons why it took such a long time to get my money that I was owed from the months that I worked there, was because they didn't exactly declare insolvency. They hadn't gone through the entire process yet. So it took ages to get it done. And I think the owner of the company was putting it off because they knew if they had an insolvency, a bankruptcy on their record, it wouldn't allow them to go and start another company, like, because fraudsters, that's what they do. Instead of just fixing their first fuck up, they will instead use that as an opportunity to go and bounce onto another situation and start a whole nother scam. So this is pretty fucked up for the customers, all in all. The customers who have ordered stuff from NAKT are the ones that are really left in the lurch, man. Look at the fashion show. Wow. This is a fashion show from 2 years ago. This is a fashion show of NAKT from 2 years ago. Let's see this. Take off the music. Honestly, I'd rather unalive myself. I'd rather unalive myself than be featured as a model in any of these type of things. Don't get me wrong. No one would probably ask me anyway. But regardless, if I ever was approached for this is something that I would never fucking do. Walking a runway for like a tech, like, excuse me? Modeling like techno clothes. Trying to pull like your most serious BPM face. Like me trying to have a BPM face when I'm doing a fucking photo shoot for some black t-shirt shit. Like, get fucked. I'm never doing this. This looks and sounds fucking horrible. So here's the fucking fashion show. There's a runway full of people with flares that have black smoke. There's obviously some skinny black guy there who's holding a flare up with a harness on him, wearing some black boots. Everyone's probably got a pair of Dr. Martens on. Like, people have their flares with the smoke up in the air. The runway, here's some models walking down the runway wearing, I don't know, BDSM inspired techno wear, I guess, covered in tattoos also. There's not a lot of body by the way, one thing that's funny about NAKT, not a lot of body positivity, not a lot of diversity in their models. They're all very thin, they're all very white, and they're all covered in tattoos, and they all look like listen to the same shit. You know, there's not a lot of interesting casting going on this show. It's not the most exclusive thing in the world. But it continues. Another model comes down with the skirt that it's half of it is long, half of it is short. Terrible. Another bikini set, again, garbage. Probably buy this stuff on Temu for like £2. This stuff is like a vest top with some shorts. Like, okay, like crop top with some combat pants and stuff. Like, I don't know. Don't care. Not surprising this stuff failed because it looks fairly terrible. Not gonna lie. Not surprised it failed. It looks kind of shit. Article continues on Trustpilot portal. For example, complaints began to pile up a few months ago when the shop was still online. A large number of negative one-star reviews and non-receipts of the lack of returns were commonplace. By the way, how piece of shit you have to be as a person. You know your company's about to go bankrupt and you don't turn off the online store. You don't shut it down. You don't shut down transactions. You allow transactions, you allowed orders to go through still. How much of a piece of shit you have to be? Because most likely foreigners, right? People that maybe can't even speak English are stumbling across your page because of an Instagram ad or whatever, or because somebody spoke about it well on TikTok, but they didn't check the date. Because that's something as well TikTok does really well on. Big up TikTok on the platform. I've noticed with TikTok, you might stumble on a video that's gone viral, but then you won't realize until you read the comments that the video is from like 17 weeks ago. 2 years ago, you know. So maybe somebody stumbled on a advertisement, some person talking about, you know, get ready with me with wearing NAKT stuff, and then they order the stuff not knowing that the company's been insolvent or has not been non-operational for fucking years. That's scummy behavior, man. Turn off the fucking orders. Why are you still accepting orders on your site when you know you got no stock, you know you got no inventory, you know you're about to be fucking declared bankruptcy? Like, fucking hell, NAKT. One user said he was not received his item yet and he already contacted customer service 5 times by email. LOL at NAKT customer service, mate. NAKT customer service are too busy at an afters. NAKT customer service are too busy at some sort of kink rave, at some fucking record store day thing. You know, at some shitty vintage store. Kilo vintage store, by the way. They're busy trying to buy some scran at a fucking river. That's where they are, bro. They are nowhere next to their laptops, nowhere next to their fucking office, their workstation, sorting out their order. God almighty. Big up the people that used to work there as well, by the way. Hopefully you're going to get your monies as well. Another user said, I've been waiting for my order for 6 weeks now. So far, by the way, if that's me, I'm just filing a fucking fraudulent fucking order thing on my bank card or something. I'm contacting my bank straight away. People are very patient. I'm not waiting 6 weeks for an order to drop. I'm fucking charging that shit back ASAP. 6 weeks, you know. I've only received automatically generated emails informing me that the products I ordered are sold out. I'm just wondering what the fuck, because when I ordered, none of them were marked as sold out. Oh, that's scummy. That is scummy, man. Not marking items that are sold out and letting people order them and then sending them automated messages saying that the item they ordered is sold out. Woo, that's scummy. That's scummy. I haven't received a response to my emails. 100 euros is simply gone. What a scam. According to several reviews, other customers waited months and spent large sums. These customers are likely stuck with this now and they no longer have any assets. NAKT was launched in 2018. Berlin's underground techno scene. NAKT was an art project in Berghain. Art project. What does that even mean? What does it mean to be an art project? What does it even mean to be a collective? Just because you do things in a group, does it mean you're a collective or does it mean you're a group? What does that even mean? What does it mean? What does it mean to be an art project? You are a brand. You tried to make a thing. It didn't work. Art collective, you know. Art project. The label generated a buzz within the community, as well as the community around the brand itself, consisting of DJs, designers, models, tattoo artists, consisting of those are people that fuck. Anyway, I'm not gonna get him mad. The so-called NAKT army. Grown adults, grown men and women referring themselves to as a NAKT army. Please send a plague. Please send a flood. In addition to fashion shows and art exhibitions, the label was hosted raves and tattoo sessions. Recently, the brand developed into hype, which was fueled by TikTok and other social media platforms. In November, NAKT celebrated its 6th anniversary with a rave with 4,000 people. No, sorry, a 4,000 square meter venue. Damn, I didn't know that. They had a 6-year anniversary. Look, let's look at the video. This is NAKT 6 years of NAKT in Berlin in 2023. Let's see this. You know what's funny, by the way? You know what's funny? Even the list of DJs that they have featured are some of the biggest caners, some of the biggest non-serious people in the scene that you wouldn't want to be associated with. They're the ones that played there. Makes sense, innit? Some of the biggest caners, some of the biggest, like, you know, enjoyers of the multivitamins are also some of the people that they featured on this fucking lineup. Oh my God. Nicolina, Acerate, Mods or Modzy, Specific Objects, Prada 2000, DJP. Fucking hell. 6-year anniversary of NAKT has been and gone. And NAKT is now insolvent. I want you to check out their Instagram. I wonder what's the Instagram saying. Let's check out the Instagram. What's NAKT's Instagram saying? When did they last post? They've got some pin posts here. There's a NAKT pin post from 2023. Wow. More memories from our 6 years rave. It was so much fun to rave through the night with you all. We can't wait for the next time. There's some pictures taken on a point and shoot camera featuring some NAKT friendly people in the NAKT army per se. To be honest, even if I wore some of the clothes, I don't think I'd go to the events. And if I wore the clothes, I'll take the label off. The brand is so cringy and it's so corny. I'd be embarrassed to be in a rave with other people who are fans of the brand, you know? That's what I would do. I would just not go to the raves. I'd maybe wear the clothes, but I wouldn't go to the raves because this is just too much. It's too much. So here's some people at the rave, yeah, chilling, having a good time. It doesn't look like much of a rave. Looks like a hangout, to be fair. I see a lot of people sitting down talking. There's not a lot of pictures of the actual rave. It seems like a lot of people are actually talking, having a good time, which is, you know, maybe a good thing. But I don't really see a lot of people that are actually raving. I see a lot of linking and building, you know? I see a lot of linking and building. A lot of shitty chest tattoos, a lot of harnesses, and a lot of mustaches and go faster glasses. Here's a clip as well, pinned one. A small recap of last Saturday in Hamburg. They used to do raves they were international, innit? They did raves in Hamburg. Madness. Let's see this one. By the way, it's funny that they had the comments turned off, by the way. No comments on these posts. A rave in Hamburg. It was an unforgettable night from our shuttle bus between Berlin to Hamburg to the last artists have set. Everyone brought incredible energy. We want to thank everybody who came and made the evening so special. We also want to give all our love to our staff, the DJs, and tattoo artists. Imagine going to a fucking rave and getting a tattoo. Like, please, send the plague. Let's see this clip. To be fair, the rave looks kind of shit. And the fact that they're talking about the fucking tour bus, it probably means that the rave was kind of terrible. If you're bragging or if you're boasting about, oh my God, the shuttle bus vibes, it's like, huh? Shuttle bus vibes? What the fuck are we talking about here? So the rave looks kind of terrible, I'm not going to lie. Continuing on, Let's see what other posts they got here. There's another one here that features some of the models, modeling some of the clothes. Let's see what this is saying. Beautiful moments from our Sky N. I don't know how you pronounce that. Skyn fashion show. They did one as well. There's the fashion show they did. Cool. The pictures of the fashion show look better than the actual show itself. Cool. By the way, that, like, god damn it, bro. You can just smell the GHB off this fella, innit? You can just tell this nigga's always sweating. That hair, that is not gel. That's from sweat. That hair, the way he got that hair like that is not from gel. That is pure rave sweat. That's ket sweat. That's 4-MMC sweat. That's speed sweat, innit? God damn it, bro. That is speed sweat hair. Look at that head. Big up that guy, though. Big up that guy one time. We got another post here. What's this? This recent post from when? When's this post from? Recent post from 2024. Right, this is their last post, actually. 2024. We had an incredible design session at A&I and are thrilled to announce that her custom piece is now live on the website. Check it out. So they were making custom pieces with what? Up and coming designers and shit. Let's get away the sound. Yeah, I guess they were doing some sort of collaboration with up and coming designers. It's a fucking MA1 jacket, bro. Yo, this motherfucker's looking at that MA1 jacket like it's fucking John Paul Gaultier. Yo, let's relax, bro. It's a bomber jacket. It's a fucking bomber jacket. It's an MA1 jacket that you've maybe added some shit on the sleeves. Let's relax. Let's relax at fucking staring and pointing at the fucking bomber jacket. Like we're fucking Jonathan Anderson. It honestly isn't that serious. You've added some belts. You've added some fucking staples, some chains and shit. Like, let's please relax. Let's please fucking relax. You're not Demna, bro. You really aren't Demna. Look at the comments, though. Look at the comments. Big up that person. Bye-bye. Bye-bye. What's this comment say here? Let's translate that one. How do you manage to be broke even though you're taking off your models? Fucking hell. Another post from what? And a few weeks. What's this? Monday. What's that? Monday with a taste of the weekend. This is the, what's that? The X19 belt. The X19 belt that could also be worn as a bra. Okay, big up the person wearing it as a bra. Wow. And look at the comments next to it. Did you disable the comments because you were getting so many complaints about your poor service? I placed an order with you and reached out multiple times about an issue, but you never responded. I've even sent you a direct message after weeks. You finally replied to some questions about my order, then disappeared again. You emailed me saying you would resend my order, but once again, you are vanished. This is starting to feel like a scam. Please either ship or item or give me a refund. By the way, I just think in general, right? You have to be very wary about buying anything based on certain niches. I think if you're into like raving and stuff, and there's a brand that sells bags or like drug paraphernalia or like clothing based on raving and whatever and getting on it, you have to be very cautious, because most likely if they're making that brand, the logical conclusion could be that they're making that brand because they enjoy doing those activities. So they're not going to be the most reliable people. They're not going to be the most dependable people, the most consistent people. They're not going to maybe follow through on some things. So you should be very wary of giving your money to these brands. Unless they're like, I don't know, unless they're like a big brand, like a Boiler Room, for instance. Maybe Boiler Room's a good example. Maybe Teletech's another good example, right? Because I feel like they kind of run that like a business. But I think if somebody's got like a little brand where they sell like, I don't know, like ket spoons and shit, maybe don't order the ket spoon. Maybe wait for the person to do like a pop-up or to, you know, to maybe sell them after a rave where you can buy them in person. But don't expect the order to be shipped ASAP. Don't expect your ket spoons to arrive the same time your Amazon Prime order arrives, because that person that make ket spoons is most likely swimming in a pool full of ket because of the money you sent them anyway. So they're gonna take some time to get to your order. That's what I would say anyway. Be very wary of giving your money to rave inspired brands because they're not gonna be the most reliable people in the world. Another image here. We had such a great time with our friends from Brazil. They were doing pop-ups in Brazil. Shit, bro. And now look at them. They're fucking bankrupt, eh? Gone under. Honestly, this stuff is so garbage. Calling this shit fashion, like these chains and like clipping chains on black t-shirts and like, huh? A chain on a black t-shirt is techno. Why? Why does techno have to be black? Why does it be so goth inspired? Why can't it be happy? Why can't it be a little bit colorful? Why are the shapes all the same? Why there's no fucking playing around with materials and finishes and cuts and shapes and silhouettes and fabrication? Why is it all the same? Why all the models look the same? Like boring, bro, boring. All this shit, boring, played out, shitty, and fucking terrible. Like, look at that. That guy thinks he's looking like a fucking G as well, by the way. And those are the people that have the worst attitudes in raves, by the way. Those people have the worst attitudes in raves. Those are the ones that are really gonna vibe you out. They're gonna make you want to go home. These type of fucking wallads. Like, look at that. My man thinks he looks like a fucking G as well. Allow it. One more post here. Let's do one more before we move on. What's this one? Already have your rave outfit for the weekend? Okay, cool. Who's this person? This is another get ready with me. A girl walking down the escalator somewhere in the city wearing her NAKT attire with the top on and the skirt with a fan waiting by the train. Cringy. She's got all the trendy tattoos on that everyone has. She's got a little choker there. Cool, I guess. Very individual, very unique. I don't think I've ever seen that look before, ever in my life. Another post here. Thanks to everyone with us on Sunday. Always good to have the NAKT family with us. Where's this NAKT family now? Where are you now, NAKT family? Where are you now? All of you, hey? Where are ya? Where are ya? Hey? Where are ya, NAKT family? Where the fuck are ya? I don't know, man. There are so many other things in life that you could do apart from this. There's nothing else I would want to do less than this. Be on my phone in a brightly lit shot somewhere, wearing shitty fucking club wear, standing around with other people, pontificating about how we're going to get into burger. And like, no, kill me now. Kill me now. But big up NAKT anyway. Big up NAKT. R.I.P. to NAKT. R.I.P. R.I.P. to NAKT. Continuing on. Big up blood clot Taylor Swift. According to Billboard, Taylor Swift has brought back her masters from Shamrock, reclaiming her first 6 albums. I'm not too sure. I don't really understand why this is a thing and why we should care. I'm not going to lie. I don't get why we should care about this, but regardless, let's read the article anyway. Curse your Billboard. Taylor Swift announced on Friday she was regained her ownership of her master's recording from Shamrock Capital, the private equity firm that purchased them from Scooter Braun's Ithaca Holdings in late 2020. According to sources, Shamrock sold Swift's catalogue back to her in an amount relatively close to what they paid for it, which sources tell is around 300. Excuse me? Yo, Taylor Swift, is that rich? Taylor Swift paid $360 million to get her masters back. God almighty, this woman is caked up then, isn't it? Maybe it's why we should be talking about it. If I'm not mistaken, when her masters was sold without her consent or whatever, that was a big deal. I remember she was freaking out about it on social. But I also remember her going out of her way to re-record some of her albums. You remember? She re-recorded a bunch of those albums, and then she was like pushing the fans to not listen to the ones that Scooter and his brand owned, and instead listen to the ones that she re-recorded. And I think she might have titled them another way so the fans could spot which one was which or could tell a difference. So what's happened to that album? What happens to the one that she re-recorded? Does that get deleted from DSPs? But fucking hell, she bought it back for 360 mil. This woman is fucking rich, innit? I didn't know she was that fucking caked up. In a message on the website, Swift says, all the times I was this close to reaching out for it, only for it to fall through, I almost stopped thinking that it could ever happen. After 20 years of having the carrot dangled and then yanked away, but this is all in the past now. I really get to say these words. All of the music I've ever made now belongs to me. All of my music videos, all of my concert films, the album art, the photography, the unreleased songs, the memories, the magic, the madness, every single era, my entire life's work. You know what's really funny and sad about this? Now that I've kind of, you know, got into live streaming, now that I can refer to myself as a very cringy title as a content creator and shit, it's kind of wild to think that this is uncommon. That it's uncommon that people that make work, make art, make content, whatever it may be, don't own it. And that is very common in the music industry. You make your music, but usually the people that make the music don't make the least amount from their music. They sometimes own the least from the rights of their music. Most other executives own most of it, which doesn't happen in any other digital or creative industry or creative like scene or whatever genre area. Most of people, especially streamers and stuff, content creators, influencers, you own all your intellectual property for the most part. Maybe you partner up with an advertising agency or whatever to kind of get ads for you, or you book or you hire a manager to maybe do those deals for you. But the majority of the work that you put out there, the majority of the work that you create, you own and you profit from, you gain from. Whereas in music, that is not the case. It's mostly the actual fucking record labels, the publishing platforms, whatever it may be, the studios, the this, the that. They're the ones that own the lion's share of your artistry. So they also earn it. So then you have to then go out and tour for an unspecified amount of time. Maybe until the day that you die, to actually gain any money. You might get some money from your streaming. You might get some money from your royalties, some money from whatever your masters, publishing. But the majority of artists make the large chunk of their money either through merch or from touring, because you can pocket that money. But any other person in content, you keep everything. If you go on tour, you keep most of the fucking gate. If you fucking do a stream, you keep most of the money from there. You do a video, you get an ad, you get most of the money from there. So it's actually kind of sad that this is not a common thing, but maybe because a lot of artists follow big artists in terms of trends, maybe Taylor getting her masters back might kind of inspire some artists to maybe hold on to their masters, not be so close to sign them, not be so quick to sign them away, which I understand as well. I have sympathy for it. I understand if you're a struggling artist and a record label comes up to you and says, hey, we're going to give you 100 grand for a fucking 100-year contract for 10 albums, right? I can understand why you'd sign that, even though it's fucking not the greatest for you, because you're going to get the 100 grand up front that you never would have had beforehand, you know? A bank wouldn't give you a loan. You probably got debts over that kind of amount. So I get people kind of sign their lives away, but I'm hoping now with more information that people would be hesitant to do it so quickly and would maybe wait to see how things play out, because maybe when things play out, you might be in a better position. It continues. Her announcement, Swift expressed gratitude and praised Shamrock for how they handled the deal, noting they understood the deeply personal meaning behind the transaction. Deeply personal meaning. Bitch, you gave them 360 million. Of course they're going to sell it back to you. 360 million, 360 million. My memories and my sweat and my handwriting and my decades of dreams, she writes, I'm endlessly thankful. My first tattoo might just be a shamrock in the middle of my forehead. Lols. Look at her being funny. Of the superstars purchase, Braun tells Billboard, I'm happy for her. Yeah, of course you are. The saga of Swiss Masters goes back to June 2019 when Ithaca purchased Big Machine's label group, which owned the master recordings of Swift's first 6 albums for an estimated 300 million. Swift's catalogue was worth at least half of that amount, according to the estimate at the time. Over the years, Swift has publicly declared displeasure of shuffling around of her masters, and in 2019 began re-recording those Big Machine albums in order to restore control over her songs. Her recording journey started. So yeah, shit. Big up Taylor Swift, man. That's actually quite a big deal. That's actually quite a big deal. By the way, look at the numbers, bro. 281 million followers. I can't imagine. Could you imagine what her DMs are like? I sometimes get a little bit flustered with the amount of messages that I get from my fucking tiny little podcasts and fucking live stream. Could you imagine? Could you imagine how crazy her fucking DMs are? Could you imagine how crazy her DMs are? 281 million. God damn. So this is a picture slideshow of her celebrating the fact she got all her masters back. This is the albums that she got the masters back from. She's happy. She's over the moon. Hands up in the air. Super relatable. People love her. And yeah, man. Congratulations to her, I guess. Congrats to Taylor. Congrats to fucking blood clot Taylor Swift. Great to see. Great to blood clot. See. Moving on. Moving blood clot on. Let's talk a little bit about what's happening with this whole Sonar shit. So I'm sure some of you guys are aware, but a lot of artists, a lot of people are now pulling out of Sonar because of Sonar's links. Oh no, Sonar in South by Southwest in London, because of their links with that KKKR group, who are responsible for helping, I think, manufacture weapons and surveillance systems and shit that are used, during the genocide over there in Palestine, which is fucking horrid. So a lot of artists and people are deciding to pull out of these festivals that have links to that company, for obvious reasons. So obviously call for the fucking ceasefire, over there in Palestine and the end of the genocide, which is very interesting. There's another development here, courtesy of NME. It says several artists pull out of South by Southwest London for artwashing, with Tony Blair and David Cameron NATO appearances. I don't know why this is even a thing. South by Southwest used to be a very counterculture thing, especially the one in Austin, right? In terms of like platforming and giving a chance to small up and coming artists to get their kind of foot on the door, to perform for the first time. A bunch of notable artists that we know and love nowadays kind of got their debut, got their start from South by Southwest. Somebody really random I know, like Tim Ferriss, the author of 4 Hour Work Week, he credits his first appearance at South by Southwest for the reason why he became a super popular author and, whatever person now in media and shit. So South by Southwest brand has always been known to kind of push the counterculture, the, dare I say, avant-garde, the people that are on the fringes of society who are trying to make a difference, people who are really trying to push art forward. So it's kind of wild to think nowadays South by Southwest has developed into a platform where they're inviting people like Tony Blair and David Cameron to speak, isn't it? Seems a bit weird, but I guess things are changing. So let's read the article because of NME. It says the first UK edition of the festival, several artists have pulled out of South by Southwest London in protest of appearances from Tony Blair, David Cameron and NATO. What the fuck are they doing at fucking South by Southwest? Maybe these people, you could understand if they're quiet sponsors in the background or something, right? Maybe. But what the fuck do these guys have to do with fucking South by Southwest? So fucking utterly fucking stupid. Let's continue with the article here. The first UK edition of the festival kicked off in London this year and will run from June 2nd to June 7th in Shoreditch. Headliners are Thames, Mabel, Alice Glass, Heartworms and L'Objectif and more also on the bill. By the way, I haven't seen a lot of people calling for Thames to boycott. So I think this boycott sometimes, as great as it is to see people doing the boycott and trying to make some level of change and trying to stop the atrocities or trying to play a part in the stopping of the atrocities over there in obviously Palestine and the genocide going on over there, it's just really interesting how some people get flack for certain things and some people don't. I see a lot of Thames content on my timeline. I think I might even follow her on Twitter. And I'm pretty sure I haven't seen a lot of people throwing a lot of arrows or bullets towards Thames for her headlining South by Southwest and not pulling out still. Maybe she has, but I haven't seen it so far. So the headliners are Thames, Mabel, Alice Glass, Heartworms and L'Objectif. As well as live performances, the event also holds conferences and discussions with the likes of Jane Goodall, Wyclef Jean and others. While not publicly shared in advance, a leaked document showed that former Prime Minister Tony Blair and David Cameron were listed on the London schedule, as well as Kate O'Brien, who works at NATO. Blair spoke on Monday and held a discussion about AI in the government, saying that the country should embrace technology as we continue with our AI tutors along with AI nurses and doctors. So they purposely avoided putting Tony Blair's name on the lineup, on the schedule for this, because they knew if people found out that Tony Blair, of all fucking people, was speaking at South by Southwest London, they definitely weren't going to fucking turn up. Cameron spoke at the event yesterday and centered his talk around healthcare and the future of medicine in the UK. He also drew attention to his late son's battle with rare genetic disease, his mother's struggle with dementia, pushing for easier access to clinical trials and early genome sequencing. Despite neither Cameron nor Blair being shared on the online South by Southwest lineup, sources have apparently said organisers were keen for their talks to go ahead. The move, however, has sparked backlash from many artists on the bill and led to multiple backouts. Sam Akpro, Jasmine 4T, LVRA all counter their performances at the festival, with the latter organizer claiming of artwashing. So this is one statement from Sam Akpro. He says, I've decided to pull out my performance of South by Southwest London. A few days ago, a document was leaked by Matt Kennard showing the invited guests who had not been publicly announced. This included Tony Blair, David Cameron, who had been culpable for the immense war crimes in the Middle East, to say the least. Yep, I agree with that one. In addition to this, the festival also platformed Kate O'Brien, who is a chief staff or supervisor board of NATO Innovation Fund, and Israel is not the member of NATO, but they are backed by countries such as UK, US and France, who are all members of NATO and who are all complicit in helping support Israel's genocide of the Palestinian people. Jesus Christ, strong words from Sam Akpro. The CIA also will be returned to the festival. The South by Southwest has the CIA speaking. Honestly, I'm so used to the South by Southwest that I knew of it being up and coming artists, like, I don't know, Flatbush Zombies performing, tech startup people there and shit. Like, CIA. I decided to take this gig at faith that South by Southwest had cut ties with the US Army. The defense contractor RTX, which they have, but no surprise, they continue to deceive and involve themselves with individuals who are complicit in the ongoing suffering of Palestine and beyond. South by Southwest is using us smaller and minority artists to push information and ideologies that I do not align myself with. I urge and hope that many artists can make the decision to pull out of this week's festival. Yeah, strong words. Big up Sam Akpar. Fucking hell. South by Southwest London. Fucking CIA. Tony Blair. David Cameron. NATO representatives. Fucking nuts. Other artists include Sarah Wild, who have pulled out, Tara Lily, Salehe, Leeds band Rat Pack cancelled their event that was set to take place yesterday and feature NSW. So Rat Pack said, we've been made aware of the new leaked information that indicates the festival has not been going forward. The panel talks, including Tony Blair, a known war criminal, and David Cameron. Not only is this highly deceptive, but indicative of the kinds of people and organizations that are willing to platform. As a collective, we are no longer in good conscience participate in this act of art washing, marginalized POC artists, and will be boycotting. Sarah Wild also urged other artists lineup to drop out. Yeah, big up Sarah Wild, by the way. She's a good follow on social. Big up Blood Clot Sarah Wild. What she say? Let's see what Sarah had to say. Wow. 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 Okay, fair play, fair play. Big up Sarah Wild. Big up Blood Clot Sarah Wild. In a statement to Enemy, South by Southwest London spokesperson addressed the controversy. Their statement: as one of the world's largest... Oh, you couldn't hear it. You couldn't hear it. Oh, damn it. Okay, let me reassure. You couldn't hear it. Apologies. Let me do it again. Oh, fuck. You didn't even hear all the fucking... What you call it? NAKT digital things either, did you? Okay, cool. Let me do it again. One more time. Apologies. Let me get this to load. Let me just make sure I switch my fucking settings over. Hopefully it fucking works. Apologies. Big up everybody tuning in, by the way. Smash the like button if you haven't already. Make sure you're tuning in, you're locked in, you're enjoying what you're seeing what you're doing. Cool. Internal speakers. OBS. Cool. Boom. It should be working now. Let's get it going. So this is Sarah Wild. Big up Sarah Wild and her statements. Let's go again. One more time.
Hello, hope you're well. I already posted this on my story, but apparently it's not reaching any count, so you should check on there more often, right, if you missed it. But listen, I dropped out of South by Southwest over a week ago now, SXSW. I was one of the artists that rallied and organised behind the scenes to get them to drop the Plantier and the Barclays talk, because I both clapped. You should look into why. I agreed to go on to play, but then found out that they were hiding loads of other talks with David Cameron, Tony Blair, Apple, like a bunch of shit I'm meant to be boycotting, right? So that's when I pulled out. Now, I need to stress the reason why I was able to pull out is because the original promoter that invited me on was able to honour my fee. Otherwise, I would have been stuck, right? But see, those of you immersion working class artists only playing for 100, 150, right? You can fundraise that money, drop out and fundraise that money, or put on an event elsewhere, organise amongst you, but don't be lending your name to that shit, period. But definitely don't be lending your name to that shit if you can afford to, right? Love.
Big up Sarah Wild. I don't know, it's a bit rough. It's a bit unfair to tell people, like, that's the thing about the boycott, isn't it? Like, it's like, there are some people, like, maybe this is why the conversation needs to be had. There are some people out there who are like proper working DJs, as in like, this is like it's barely cutting a 9 to 5 in terms of a salary, but it allows them a lifestyle where they get to kind of go to play in all these different clubs. Like, I remember somebody telling me, actually, like, a lot of these popular nights, obviously in Europe, that some of us all know and love, they might not pay you, but they might invite you to play, which is obviously an amazing privilege and an amazing honor. But it also gives you a good look, so that if you play and you do well, maybe they might pay you in the future, but usually you're just there to fill up the fucking lineup, right? So you're playing in a lot of these places, you're not getting paid, you're maybe getting flown places, but you're also not getting compensated, which is still not great. But when you are getting compensated, it's like, you know, 150, 100, kind of the same sort of shit that I get paid when I play my little bar gigs and shit, which is also not that much money. But you end up relying on it because that adds up, in it. Like, you know, a few gigs here and there, 150, 150, that kind of covers your rent. So you kind of need to kind of play. You need to play to kind of make sure your fucking nuts covered. So when these boycotts happen, it's really unfair that most of the time, a lot of the fucking weight of these fucking protests is put on the backs of like working DJs. The ones who are doing this as like a job. The ones who don't get paid 10 grand per set. They're the ones that bear the brunt of the backlash from the fans and the comments if they don't pull out certain things. But I sometimes have sympathy for them because sometimes they can't afford to pull out because they need that fucking DJ gig. That gig is going to tie them over for the entire year. That DJ gig is going to clear their debts. That DJ gig is going to allow them to just live another day. Live to fight another day. Do you know what I mean? It's kind of out of order that they're the ones that get told to, you know, don't take the gig, stay steadfast, remain solid. It's like, bro, like, I can't put on my own events. I need this gig. You know what I mean? I don't have the time to put on an event. I don't have time to organize this sort of stuff. I need to play. And when they don't play, you know, things can kind of go awry. But I do understand what she's saying. I think she's generally right in what she's saying. But it's just unfair that working class, normal, you know, whatever DJs that aren't the big high and flying ones flying around in private jets are the ones that have to bear the brunt of this sort of shit. It continues. Obviously, you got this other guy called Matt Kennard also got a statement here. More from Matt Kennard. A lot of people are saying things. In a statement to NME, South by Southwest said, as one of the world's largest festivals across tech and music and creative industries, South by Southwest London respects everyone's views and positions and aims to create an open and diverse space for debate and discussions. By the way, that's not true. You don't want an open fucking area for that debate and discussions because you didn't really show or tell people that some people are performing or going to be speaking. You know what I mean? You hid this. That doesn't make me believe that you want honest debate. You know what I mean? You're being a little bit conniving. Across the breadth of the festival, over 800 speakers, we have a broad range of global leaders spanning the technology, cultural industries and the inclusion does not represent an endorsement of any particular position or viewpoint. But it does though, innit? Nowadays, it kind of does. There is no way to separate those type of things. You can't book people who are complicit in the ongoing genocide there in Palestine and then say that their views do not, you know, align with what we're about. Like, unfortunately, if you platform these people, if you give them, if you book them, whatever, people are going to think that you obviously, you know, are okay with that shit going on over there. And that's why people are boycotting. Come on, South by Southwest, you should know this by now. Last year, the US version of the festival, which was owned by a different company, this time due to sponsorship, saw a huge wave of boycotts. Big names like NAKT, Rachel Chinori, Lambini Girl, Scowl, GEL. Texas Governor Greg Abbott took to X saying bands pull out South by Southwest of a US sponsorship by don't come back. Austin remains HQ. Organizers of South by Southwest, however, eventually released a statement saying that they do not agree with Abbott, adding that there are no organization that welcomes diverse viewpoints. By the way, eventually this will end up costing them, you know. These type of festivals rely a lot on like niche audiences attending. Like having all these artists pull out for a very noble reasons is probably going to lead to a lot of these festivals eventually going bankrupt. I think. I don't think they're going to be able to survive. It'll be surprising, especially when you think about the rising cost of festivals in the first place. Like I'd be honestly shocked if some of these places end up surviving off of the back of this. I could be wrong, but I'll be fucking shocked if that's the case. I'll be fucking shocked if that's the freaking case. Continuing on off the back of this tragic story, courtesy of fucking New York Times, really fucking horrifying. I personally don't like to speak about this stuff too often on my pod because I don't really think I really have anything interesting to add. But when atrocities like this take place, you have to say something. I mean, you have to cover this sort of stuff because this is just, it feels like every other day I'm seeing this type of news. And at some point, when's enough? You know what I mean? When will this stuff end? When will this genocide in Palestine just end? When will there stop being a blame game about who done what the worst? Yes, we know October 7th happened. Yes, a lot of people have passed away. RIP to those. Many people are still being kept hostage. Hopefully they all get freed. But on both sides, when is enough enough? When will there be enough enough? When will there be a ceasefire? When will there be peace in Palestine so that people can go back to trying to fucking rebuild their lives and go back to some level of normalcy? Because this is fucking heinous. This is a headline courtesy of New York Times. Israeli soldiers open fire near Gaza aid site. Officials say 27 people killed. People going to collect aid. People who have been starved in part due to the Israeli government, go to get aid, right? And then getting fired upon. And 27 of them are dying. That kind of reminds you of the early images in the beginning of the war where you saw people that were getting run over by trains. They're trying to collect aid that was kind of coming by in trains. People that were allegedly dying because of the aid that was being dropped from helicopters. People that were getting shot because they're picking up aid by snipers and shit. Like horrible scenes, horrible images. And there's no way you can really excuse this. And it's just one of those type of things that you just want this to be hopefully the end of things, but you know it isn't, unfortunately. Let's play a little bit of this clip. Close to the New York Times. Israeli soldiers opened fire in a crowd headed towards an aid distribution center in Gaza. Jesus Christ. Dozens were killed according to the Gaza Health Ministry. All the bodies there. Mamma mia. We were out bringing bread and we were a 1.5 kilometer distance from Israeli military. We were surprised to be shot by drones, helicopters, tanks, boats. Everybody fell to the ground. There were injuries. People were being stabbed. On the way at 3:30, there was shooting. I ducked. I didn't know how the bullet hit my head. The Israeli military said that they fired at people who had strayed from the desert. Imagine that excuse, by the way. Look at that excuse. Look at that rationale for the shooting of people. The shooting of unarmed civilians who are trying to pick up aid. Look at that excuse. Look at that rationale from the Israeli military. The Israeli military said that they fired at people who had strayed from the designated route. What? If I stray from a designated route, that gives you license to just open fire. Fucking hell. This is the second largest scale deadly incident. 3 days of aid. That's the aid that's the aid that she got. That's the amount of aid. That was the amount of pasta that she got. Oh my God. If you can't see the image, it's barely 2 hands full. The aid that everybody was getting killed over, what she has in her bag is barely 2 hands full. Oh my God. We don't get anything. We go, we see the dead, injured people in front of us, and we leave empty-handed. The empty thing we don't get from going is humiliation. Jesus Christ, bro. Look at how empty that bag is. There's hardly anything there. And that is the last of the last. That's gonna have to last them for a long fucking time. Just plain pasta, nothing else. And it's hardly enough to probably feed a family. Hardly enough. Fucking hell. The article goes to the New York Times. Israeli soldiers opened fire on Tuesday morning near crowds of Palestinians walking towards a new food distribution center in the south of Gaza. The Israeli military said. The Red Cross and Gaza Health Ministry said that at least 27 people have been killed. It was the second such shooting in 3 days near the same site in Rafah, where thousands of desperate, hungry Palestinians have been coming early each day in hopes of securing food. Israeli soldiers opened fire on Sunday near an approach in the distribution center. The Palestinian Red Crescent Society said at least 23 people were killed. The deadly incident on Tuesday was the latest in the chaos that tarnished the Gaza Humanitarian Foundation, a contentious new Israeli-backed aid system in Gaza that has been beset with problems since it began operations last week. By the way, how does that even make any sense? Why is there an Israeli-based humanitarian aid platform that is like what? That isn't that definition of a conflict of interest? Surely there should be an independent people coming in to give the Palestinians, people that live in Gaza, aid, no? Surely it shouldn't be Israel-backed. The aid system in Gaza that has been beset with problems since it began operations last week. The foundation confirmed in a statement that a number of civilians were injured and killed after they deviated from an Israeli-designated safe corridor that led to one of its distribution sites. God forbid you divert from a fucking corridor that you might get your head taken off your shoulders as you're on the way to go get aid. Honestly, man, this is so inhumane, so unnecessary, so barbaric, so violent. Jesus, so evil. Much is riding on the new initiative. Aid agencies say Gaza faces a threat of widespread starvation in the wake of the 80-day Israeli blockade on food deliveries that ended in mid-May. Fucking hell. It's not enough they have absolutely bombed and eviscerated Gaza, have kind of flattened that place entirely. It's basically unrecognizable. People's homes have completely disappeared overnight. That's not enough. Let's also starve the civilians, most of which have nothing to do with Hamas, most of which have nothing to do with October 7th. Let's starve them, bro. Let's starve them. Okay, cool. Fucking hell. The Israeli military said its forces had fired near a few people, you know, who had strayed from a designated route to the site and who did not respond to warning shots. The statement called them suspects and said that they had posed a threat to soldiers. The United Nations has boycotted the new system, saying that it endangers civilians by forcing them to walk for miles to get food, a route that goes past Israeli military lines. The UN has also urged that the positions of the distribution points, mostly in Israeli occupied areas of southern Gaza, could facilitate an Israeli plan to displace the population of northern Gaza. Yeah, if that was their plan, it's definitely working, isn't it? Because I'm assuming that a bunch of people have probably been displaced. Fucking hell. There's some guys carrying some aid on their shoulders. They probably have to fight tooth and nail for it as well. The UN memo circulated before the initiative has launched last week warned that the overcrowded distribution sites said that the Israeli forces or the US contractors might use force to control the crowds. The memo also cautioned about the potential for the organized and opportunistic looting. Many of the problems that have been evident since Gaza Humanitarian Foundation Fund operations began. The organization has only announced 4 aid distribution points compared to the 400 under the previous UN coordinated systems across Gaza. The most of the new sites have not been operational on most days. Huge crowds of hungry Palestinians have been arriving early each morning at the aid sites, hoping to get packages of food. They have often walked for miles in pre-dawn darkness. Palestinian witnesses have described violent scrambles for whatever boxes of food are available rather than orderly handouts. Of course, they've been starved, man. They're hungry. They're frustrated. They're angry. They're probably delirious, suffering from all sorts of ailments. And now they're going to be turning on each other. Even though the real enemy is the Israeli Defense Force, you know, they're also being picked apart by them, and they're fucking struggling to fucking eat. It's the worst of times. It literally is the worst of times, man. Love and light and solidarity to everybody out there in fucking Gaza and Palestine. Horrible. Ahmed Abid, 28, said that he walked for miles to the coastal area of Mawasi in the dark. As he approached the roundabout leading to the distribution center in the morning, he said the sound of shooting burst out and he fled into a ditch. After the gunfire subsided, Mr. Abid resumed walking to the aid site where he was shocked by the huge crowd. So he heard shooting. He nearly lost his life. He ducked and then just continued walking. Honestly, bro. Look at what desperation does. Look at what people are doing. Everyone rushed. Whoever arrived first got something. Whoever was late went home empty-handed. People were tearing at each other. Fucking hell. Israeli's defense spokesperson Effie Defrin suggested that the casualty figures provided by the aid group's Palestinian health workers was inflated. He declined to say how many the military believes have been killed. Surely it doesn't matter if the figures are inflated. If it's 2, if it's 1, it's too many. These people are going to collect aid, food, sustenance. No one should be getting killed for going to go pick up food. That should be a designated safe zone. That should be a military-free area. There should be no fucking firing of guns in fucking aid zones or aid centers or aid distribution points. Like, no one should be dying there. Doesn't matter how many it is. No one should be dying. There was a warning fire. It did not harm that number of people as far as we understand. Ugh, of course you would say that. United Nations condemned the killing. Attacks directed by against civilians constitute a grave breach of international law and war crime, said Volker Turk, the UN High Commissioner of Human Rights. Aid group said the bloodshed in recent days underscored the risks of the new system. The quote says, today's events have shown once again that the new system of aid delivering is dehumanizing, dangerous, and severely ineffective. Claire Manera, an emergency coordinator for the Doctors Without Borders, said in a statement on Sunday. Another person here covered in blood, their head split open and shit. Israel's war against Hamas in Gaza has faced mounting international criticism, including from the country's traditional allies. Last month, Britain, France, and Canada said in a joint statement that Israel's threats to mount massive new offensive against Hamas, as well as the new month of blockades on humanitarian aid on Gaza, was wholly disproportionate. But that's not enough, man. They need to call for an immediate ceasefire. Something, bro. This needs to end. These people have suffered enough. Israel has says that the new aid system is needed to prevent Hamas from stealing or stockpiling food. Like, what? As well as, is there any evidence of this, by the way? As well as from the financing its war effort by selling food to civilians and inflated prices. UN officials have argued that there is no evidence that international aid is directed to Hamas. But the Gaza Humanitarian Foundation has untested private group which says American contractors to distribute food from sites in Israel patrolled areas of southern Gaza. Absolutely crazy, man. Honestly. Love and light, solidarity goes out to all my people out there in Palestine and Gaza and shit. I'm really, really praying and hoping that there's a ceasefire soon. Like, this stuff is just too much. 27 people getting killed at a fucking aid distribution center is 27 too many. And I'm hoping this will be the canary in the coal mine. This will be the final straw that breaks the camel's back, and we finally get to a place where a resolution is on the table or is at hand. Because there's just too much bloodshed, man. There's been too much bloodshed. Too fucking much bloodshed. And it feels like no one really wants it to stop. None of the governments wanted to stop. It looks like only the people that really give a shit about it are like the people that are protesting and boycotting certain events within the dance music scene. There's not a lot of people in social that are really talking about it. Everyone's kind of pretending it doesn't exist. It's really fucking terrible, honestly. So love and light and solidarity goes out to everybody in Palestine. everybody in Gaza, everything else in, connected to there. Hopefully, fingers crossed, this genocide ends at some point, and you guys can go back to restoring and fixing your lives bit by bit, brick by brick, bit by bit, brick by blood clot brick. Yo, big up, big up, big up, big up, big up them. Let's also big up Balenciaga. Balenciaga's Resort 2026 collection has just dropped. This is the last ready-to-wear collection from Demna, I think. I think the next one from him will be the couture collection for Balenciaga, if I'm not mistaken. I think the next collection Demna's going to do, or the last one, sorry, that he's going to do under Balenciaga before he starts work at Gucci, is going to be the couture one, if I'm not mistaken. But before then, we've got a Resort collection that he just dropped, courtesy of Vogue Runway, that I quickly want to check out and see if this is a good swan song, a good exit, or more of the same when it comes to Demna. Let's see Wagwan. Let's see Wagwan. So off the bat, from the first look number one, it looks like, and if I'm taking a quick scroll, I kind of feel like this is an ode. This is a fucking homage to Demna's times at Balenciaga, or Demna's time at Balenciaga. Kind of referencing back to some of his clothes, referencing back to some of his silhouettes, some of his shapes. You see here with this blazer. You see here with this trench coat. You see here with this other trench. You see here with the bag. You see here with the actual carry bag with all the fucking key rings and brooches on it, and some of the leather pieces. So it feels like a real ode, a real kind of swan song, a real celebration of some of his kind of greatest hits, which I'm not really too mad at. I'm not gonna lie. I really like this look here with the slides. I'm not too mad at look number 12. Look number 12 here with the slides and the really slim, skinny jeans. And it looks like he put, that's an interesting way to put the hood. It looks like he's got a hoodie, but like he's, when you have a jumper and you lift it over your head, it looks like that's what he's done. That's actually kind of a clever little styling little edit there. But I'm sure it's probably made that way. So it kind of makes it a different type of top to wear. Interesting. Or maybe that's a zip up. No, I'll take it back. Maybe that's a zip up jacket. Maybe it's a zip up hoodie. Maybe it's a zip up hoodie that's been kind of flipped, and so that the zip is on your back, kind of thing, and scrunched up, and then the hood's resting up there. Maybe that's how it looks, but it looks really nice. I really like number 12. Number 10 also is one of my favorites too. That black leather trench jacket is sublime. The black leather trench jacket. I ain't mad at that in the slightest. Look number 15 with the stacked fucking jackets is fucking great. I forgot what collection this was from that he debuted this look in, but it kind of reminds me of the early Balenciaga looks where he had the jackets kind of like, it was an effect. I think the actual jacket itself just had lining on the front that made it look like it was layers, but the sleeves are regular. So I think it was just in the body that it looked kind of like, oh my god, you're wearing like 7 jackets on one. I thought that's a really clever little look there. I'm not really mad at that in the slightest. I'm also not mad at this really wide pleated long length denim skirt look on look number 13 with the matching denim jacket. I ain't mad at that. I also ain't mad at the same kind of look on look number 17 with the leather pleated wide long length denim leather skirt with the matching tassel leather jacket. That looks fairly cool too. This hooded long sleeve t-shirt thing that's kind of see-through isn't too shabby either. I ain't too mad at that. Oh, the tracksuit in look number 20. That's for me too. That tracksuit in like an off-white bone ivory type of a color with stripes going across horizontally and the Balenciaga G Oakley type of flip logo. That is beautiful. That is so fucking gorgeous. I love that tracksuit. I'm also not too mad at the accompanying looks on either side. Look number 19 and 21 with the cropped, with the sort of like trousers with the fur at the bottom of them. They kind of remind me a little bit, I think, of those Prada gloves, or maybe was it Prada season? They had those sort of like fur things on the sleeves. It kind of gives me that sort of look, which I'm not too mad at as well. Again, those two don't really look like Demna's Balenciaga, do they? Looks number 19 and 21 look very they look very chic, very simple, very like, you know what I mean? They don't really look like Demna's Balenciaga. Maybe he's giving us a bit of a hint of what he's gonna do when he goes to Gucci. They look very, very different. I love that little clutch bag that models are wearing on look number 19 and 21, by the way, with the double B logo on it. Not mad at that in the slightest. The sunglasses are interesting, by the way. The sunglasses, especially this like especially this pink color, they kind of look like pantyhose. I'm not gonna lie. The shades that he's designing for this collection, they kind of look like pantyhose. You know, it kind of looks like pantyhose. It kind of looks like, you know, when you take a pair of glasses and you stretch kind of tight over them. That's what it looks like. Look pretty cool though. On look number 23. I also love the fucking matching tracksuit look. It's kind of giving baby fat. The little styling tip here is really cool on look number 21. I think they might have copied some kids online, because I'm pretty sure, you know, those Balenciaga UGG boots that they've made in the past. I'm pretty sure I've seen a bunch of kids online who have bought those. One particular kid I remember, there's a clip of him walking down the street in his hood, wherever he's from, and people are laughing at him as they're recording him down the street, but he's got this really cool spiked haircut or spiked gelled fucking trim on, and he's wearing those massive Balenciaga UGG boots, and I'm pretty sure he has one of his jeans legs kind of like pulled up so you can see the boot and the other one over it. So I'm pretty sure Demna or someone in the team has seen those pictures of people wearing Balenciaga boots with one boot tucked in, one boot not tucked in. That kind of gives it, which is kind of why they went for this type of look here. Then you've got this shoe dust bag as a bag thing, which is also kind of cool. Something that we used to do back in the day. When you'd buy like expensive designer trainers, maybe from Prada, maybe from Gucci or something, shoes, you'd always get like a branded dust bag. And me, anyway, at least, I'm not sure if you guys did, but I would always wear that bag. Like, I'd always wear it as like a bag. Back in the day, in Rick Owens, I remember, I've got a couple. Rick Owens used to give you tote bags, actually. If you bought from Rick Owens, they'd give you a really decent, I'm not sure if they still give them now, but they'd give you a really durable, a really fucking bulletproof grey dust bag, grey tote bag, sorry, that had, if I'm not mistaken, the Rick Owens logo right at the bottom, embroidered as well. Not even screen printed, embroidered. So it probably cost them a lot of money to make that and to give them away for free, but they would do that. It was fucking great, man. Honestly, I loved it. So I kind of like that. That's fucking funny, by the way. That's fucking funny. Look number 24. Look number 24. It looks like the model is wearing the same type of bag that you would use if you were delivering for Deliveroo or something. That's what that bag looks like. Am I mad? Doesn't that bag look like a Deliveroo bag? That looks like some sort of Deliveroo sort of like bag or whatever. So that's fucking hilarious. I wonder if that's a thing going on there in Paris. I wonder if there are people like fashion kids who, if they want to fucking raise some money to buy some fucking kit or speed, or want to raise some money to add to their budget so they can buy some new glasses or a new clutch or a new fucking diesel fucking belt or something, they quickly jump on fucking Uber Eats, quickly jump on Deliveroo, you know, make some money and then use that money to go buy their fashion bits. That's fucking hilarious. That Deliveroo Uber Eats type of, you know, thermal square bag thing there. Oh, I love look number 27. I love look number 27. You know what? I'm not going to lie. Look number 27, for those of you who love fashion like I love fashion, doesn't look number 27 kind of look like an Isabel Marant look? I'm kind of getting Isabel Marant. I'm kind of getting Chloe. I'm kind of getting that sort of vibe. Maybe it's the boots. Maybe it's the thigh-high tassel boots. By the way, the fashion girlies, all the fucking IG baddies, they're going to be all over those boots. I predict all of the fashion baddies are going to be all over those fucking boots on look number 27. Those thigh-high boots with the tassels, they're going to be all over them. And those jeans too. These jeans, these crop jeans, or these 3/4 length jeans with the fur, they're going to be so popular with the IG baddies. They're going to love them. All the girls that like to wear shark boots, they're going to be all over those boots there. They're going to fucking love them. Also, like the down jacket is also really nice, by the way. I think, by the way, in general, it goes without saying that Demna's legacy in Balenciaga definitely needs to be, you need to put his name up there in the fucking lights for the amount of great jackets he's done. Like, I feel like the jackets are so underrated. Most of the outerwear, like the bubble jackets, the down jackets, the mountain jackets, the shell jackets, the waterproof jackets, like the jackets are all great. Not even including the suit jackets. Like, he kills it with the jackets. Same jacket comes in black. Oh, I love that. I love that bag there. Is that like a helmet bag? Is that a bag for like a motorcycle helmet? That's pretty cool. Look number 30. There's like a bag. There's a bag the model's carrying. It looks like a case that would use for a motorcycle helmet or something. And it looks like it's got lights on the side. I'm not mad at that either. Oh, Oh, I love look number 32. Look at the fucking track pants there. Man, I'm so pissed. That kind of reminds me of I had this idea, right? Which I've never fucking put out, so it doesn't fucking matter. So you might as well just say them. But I had this idea for a while because I see local binmen in my area, especially in my borough at least. Local binmen in my borough wear these really, I think, cool cargo pants. They usually have like, they usually have fucking 3M. They usually have a bit of 3M on the bottom, reflective 3M. But the reason why I like them is that these binmen combat or cargo pants are like, they have different panels that are colored. So the side of the cargo pants might be yellow, the pockets might be blue, the panel on the inside of the leg might be orange or red or something. Really fucking cool. So I was looking at them thinking, you know what? You could do like a really cool little flip of that sort of pant and make it in your own style and obviously change the colors. And they look really great. Like imagine like a red and black, imagine like a black and white, imagine like a blue and green. Like we look fucking hard as nails. And I think, you know, obviously, Balenciaga, Demna's kind of great minds think alike. Mine and Demna's, he's kind of done a similar thing with these track pants where they've got this kind of like half navy, half, it looks like olive kind of color on the bottom of the pants. The front of it is navy, the back of it is, or the back of it is like this navy bluish, and you've got this green color. I quite like that. You also see the return. I feel like the return of this Balenciaga IKEA inspired bag. I feel like they've done it before in the past. Maybe I'm bugging out. I'm confusing this with Vetements. But I feel like Demna's done a IKEA tote bag or IKEA carrier, blue carrier bag style thing a while back. I think so. But regardless, I like it anyway. Again, look number 31 and 33. Very un-Demna-like in terms of how chic and simple they are. Very, very cute looks there. Oh, they've got that suitcase bag is back again. Look number 36 and 34. You've got Demna's flip on the suitcase carry-all. Looks like a check-in hold-all type of thing, but it's essentially meant to be like a side bag or like a messenger bag, over-the-shoulder bag, but it's actually designed in the same style that you would use a bag to check in your luggage. Oh, the return of the, wow, amazing. The return of the Ghana Must Go bag. That's fucking great. Remember this? Like they did this a few seasons back. Maybe it was a season where the models were walking down the runway with kids. I think that was the one. There was a Balenciaga runway collection where the models were walking down the runway with small children. I'm not sure what that was all about, but I do remember they did these like Ghana Must Go bags in these fucking nice colors, and they also made them, I think they're also made out of leather if I'm not mistaken. The Ghana Must Go bags are usually kind of made out of this plastic sort of material, but these are made out of leather, and they also made them in different shapes. So that's really nice. I really fucking love that bag. Looks really comfy and obviously able to fit a lot of stuff in there. Some of the jackets here, like look number 42. That jacket there is one of the hardest jackets I've ever seen. That mix, it's like 3-in-1 jackets. It looks like he's mixed a lot. It looks like he might have mixed an Alpine jacket that I might have had in the past from Vetements. There's also, no, not Alpine, a Canada Goose jacket. But there's an Alpine jacket there mixed in. There's some really cool cargos here. The grey with the rips is really nice. I also love this fucking jacket. Oh, there's some Britney Spears merch as well featured there. Look at that leather jacket on look number 44. Look number 43 jacket is incredible. Reminds me of the, is it the Uptown jacket? That jacket that Polo used to make back in the day that Supreme made. It's like an 800 down feel, super thick, super crazy. I love the off-shoulder looks as well with these parkas that kind of reminisce to Demna's first ever collection with Balenciaga as well. And of course, some of the, I don't know, what do you call them? Evening wear type. Because I think most of Demna shows anyway used to end this way. There'd always be like a bridal outfit at the end or some sort of like dinner dress party thing at the end as well. So that's pretty cool. And again, that model, the artist that he kind of always is in love with, is also featured there as well. But so far so good. I'm not gonna lie. As one of these penultimate collections for Balenciaga, I think Demna did a good job here. I'm not gonna lie. This might actually be better than recent seasons. I'm not gonna lie. This is actually pretty solid. No surprise, by the way. No surprise that he goes back to the basics and delivers a really on point kind of like punto, right? A full stop at the end of a sentence collection to kind of tie it all in together. The Britney merch is pretty cool as well. A lot of great shit here. I'm not gonna lie. A lot of fucking great shit. A lot of great shit that I'll definitely fucking wear. So big up Demna. Big up blood clot Demna. Let's read a little bit of the blurb here, courtesy of Vogue. The writer is Jose Crialius or Crialus Unzuente. Jose Crialius Unzuente or Unzuinti or Zitia. I forgot your name. Apologies if I butchered your name. It says, "Hey Siri, play Demna's greatest hits." Britney as in Spears, of course. Who else? Demna's presumably final culture-bending coup during the generation-defining tenure at Balenciaga has been to tap none other than the one and only pop princess Britney Spears to create a playlist of her greatest hits plus songs that have inspired her to accompany the Resort 2026 lineup. The playlist is now available on Apple. It's nothing but short of fabulous, not unlike the brand that this is just she's hired. I've always loved fashion, he says. I was honored and excited that Balenciaga and Demna had chose to collaborate with me. Demna's last collection with the house. Oh, this is his last collection. So the couture show isn't his last collection. I did read that couture's going to be his last one, but I guess not. Spears said via press release, I hope to fans that love it as much as I do. These are some of my favorite images from such an amazing time in my career. Now about the clothes, Demna gave his collection a name. He called it Exactitudes, however you pronounce that. Named after the series of photographer named Ari Berliulus and writer Ellie Utik Brock, who were also worked on the set of images that Demna said had inspired his approach to fashion up to his point. The last point is important. The series documents a range of identities, and the pair have labeled a combination of exact and attitude. Each person is registered in an identical context and helps to underscore their efforts to distinguish themselves by adopting an identity. I think this is also, it kind of plays on that collection. Was it a Balenciaga or Vetements collection that Demna did where they had all the stereotypes walking down a runway? I think this is what it's tied into. To put it plainly, it's an exercise in simultaneously identifying and exposing our collective desire to be a part of the pack and distance ourselves from it. A study of the archetypes and a group thinking. Sounds like Demna, no? Cool. Here Demna remixed 35 different collections from his time at Balenciaga, together with new pieces and garments from his personal wardrobe, representing the volumes, silhouettes and attitudes that have defined my vision and my questions for the contemporary wardrobe. During his time at Balenciaga, Demna has made cerebral examinations of the most familiar clothes. It has at times felt intentional, repetitive, and designer was season after season carving a same sculpture rather than a fresh tone. It's because of his own sub-language and anti-seasonal, anti-fashion exercise, and delivered both seasonal and fashionably, that this most evident contradiction has been the crux of his highest achievement. It's invited skepticism, praise. The collection embraces that wholly by doing what it's always done, the exact same yet not at all. Working on this collection felt like a homecoming, Demna says. After all the years, a very formidable experience for love, for fashion, for dressmaking. It is the end of a wonderful era. I wanted to capture the collection and celebrate by creating Balenciaga archetypes. The people, the silhouettes, the vibes, the ideas have all been fundamental in the work of this amazing house. Oh, so it is the last collection. I thought he was going to do one more. Couture, that's sad. Sharp hourglass tailoring, panta boots, hulking volumes, extrapolations of the familiar classics, most memorably the puffer jackets. You don't need to break down, identify Demna's codes. The designers have made sure we all know them by now. Instead, I offer you this. It's a wild, exhausting year plus in fashion, with designers coming and going, both expected and mind-boggling. Yet what Demna has provided here is closure. A refreshing rarity in this season of change. It is satisfying to see how designers can close chapters and as remarkable as the ones that they've been awarded. Demna will stage one last Balenciaga show at Haute Couture Week. Okay, there we go. Demna will stage one last Balenciaga show during Haute Couture Week on July 9th. In the lead up, the retrospective exhibition will open to the public. Balenciaga by Demna will be on view 26th to the July 9th at Kering's headquarters in Paris. By the way, this is also proof of just how crucial, just how vital, just how loved, just how much of a linchpin, just how much money he made them. Because this might be one of the only times I've seen a designer actually get the chance to say goodbye. Most designers don't. Even Jonathan Anderson at fucking Loewe, he got an exhibition, he got a presentation. He didn't get a chance to have a show on the runway and then get the chance to get his flowers literally at the end. You know, which is really a big shame when a designer's been at a house for that long. They don't get a chance to really say goodbye properly. And also, it doesn't matter if you've even been there just a year. Let me say goodbye. Like allow just me like skulking away in the fucking dark. You know what I mean? Let me put on a show. Let me remind people what I'm about. Give me the opportunity as well to kind of, you know, maybe advertise myself. You get to throw a big fucking end of fucking celebration party. But maybe they don't like doing it because they're afraid designers might send someone down the runway with a t-shirt that says fuck caring, you know? Maybe that's why they're hesitant to do that. But I think they should allow designers to have a farewell collection, a farewell show. So it's great to see Demna's going to do one, or going to have a chance to do one when he does his show eventually on the July 9th for Couture Week. There's also one more post here to tie this all in. I'm pretty sure I need to just show you this as well regarding Demna's final words. Actually, he did actually share a statement regarding his last collection here at Balenciaga that I want to share with you. So this is Demna's statement, courtesy of the Balenciaga Instagram. It says the collection embodies the multitude of design codes that have been part of my creative vision and research of fashion at Balenciaga for the decade. It combines pieces from 35 different collections with new pieces and garments from my personal wardrobe, representing the volumes, silhouettes, attitudes that have defined my vision and my questioning of contemporary wardrobe that have defined the contribution that people actually wear. Which is a good point, by the way. He makes a good point. That's one thing you have to rate Balenciaga for. Like, it might be one of the most commonly well-worn brands in recent history. Mostly based because of the silhouettes and the shape, I'm assuming. But it's actually incredible how many regular people you see walking down the street wearing Balenciaga. Whether it's real or fake, doesn't matter. The influence is there. The sock trainers, the bags, the triple S's, the jeans, the hoodies, the glasses in recent years. Like, crazy. How they wear it and what the fine line is between luxury and fashion. Working on this collection felt like a homecoming. After all these years, a very formidable experience of love and fashion and dressmaking. My work at Balenciaga in general has often circled around the anthology of fashion and dress codes. So this is why I decided to create an imagery of collections with Ari Vesulius and Ellie Utenbrook, whose Exactitudes series was strongly informed my approach to fashion so far. It is the end of by the way, I love how he says so far. I think he's saying that because he doesn't want people to think he's going to carry this same design ethos or whatever to Gucci. So that's why he says they've informed my approach to fashion so far. I'm leaving that behind. When I go to Gucci, I'm going to be a whole different person. I'm really curious to see what he's going to do at Gucci. I'm really curious to see how that's going to look. Really, really curious. I'm curious to see how he's going to reinterpret the tassel loafer. Oh no, sorry, the loafer in general, right? The little loafer with the gold buckle. What's he going to do with that? How is he going to reinterpret that? What's he going to do as a version of that? Will it be double soled? Will it be have no sole? Will it be foldable? What's going to happen? Will it just disappear? I wonder what he's going to do with that fucking loafer. It is the end of a wonderful era that I wanted to capture and celebrate by creating Balenciaga archetypes, the people, the silhouettes, the vibes, the ideas that have all been fundamental in my work for the amazing house. Moving on to the next chapter, this is my tribute to the creative research and work that me and my teams have done over the past 10 years. It is also my love letter to the most loyal, fashion-forward audience that we have built around the house and connected with this in the creative process. By the way, that's true. They are very loyal, myself included. We ride hard for Demna until the wheels fall off. Last but not least, in the days leading up to my last couture show for the house, there will be a Balenciaga by Demna, a resume exhibition curated by me that will be showcase some of the most important elements that define my creative vision for this house, developed and refined for the last decade. Thank you and love you forever. I'm going to try and go out there for that show, actually. It's probably unlikely. I think there's some festival happening at the same time. But if I've got time, I'm going to try and go out to that show and see the exhibition. I'm going to try. Thank you and love you forever, Demna. We love you more, Demna. We love you more, Demna. We, myself included, love you way, 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 way more. Big up Blood Clot Demna. Big up Blood Clot Demna. Cool. Moving on. Moving on. Let's talk a little bit about my friend, my dear leader, my guy, somebody that I have a lot of time for usually. Let's talk about this guy. Where the fuck is he? Where's my fucking friend? Oh, did I lose him? Where's my friend? Big up everybody tuning in, by the way. I appreciate every single one of you. Where's my friend? There he is. Let's talk about my friend. Yeah, big up blood clot Salehe Bembury. So Salehe Bembury is due to bring out some new Pollex Crocs, which I'm going to try and get a pair of. I've missed out on a bunch of them over the fucking years that he's fucking put them out. But I'm going to try and get a pair of these because these have fucking tree camo. Tree bark camo. If you know anything about me, you know how much of a obsessed I am with tree camo. You know how much I'm obsessed with camo in general. You know that I've got a lot of fucking clothing in my fucking wardrobe that's sand, desert, tree camo inspired. So I'm definitely going to try and get a pair of these because I can see these particular Crocs Pollex, or these Crocs Pollex clogs fitting very well with my outfits. I'm not the biggest fan usually of wearing Crocs outside of the house. I've got a pair of Crocs on now at the moment actually. They're kind of battered and bruised, but I've worn these to death. I actually kind of like them because they've got this paint splatter look about them. They've kind of got this like paint spatter-esque type of look about them that I like to wear. They kind of look like, you know, that's something I'd wear in a studio covered in paint. But I do like to wear them as like home shoes, but I tend not to wear them on the outdoors. But I think personally that Salehe Bembury definitely created one of the best casual, calm, chill, easy breezy type of shoes or clogs to wear outside, Crocs to wear outside. I do like this. The silhouette in particular is my favorite. I do like the fact that I think in recent years he started to do, I think, like an artist series. I think he did one with Futura that was fucking hard. I think he did one with that girl that designed those crazy good Jordan 3s that should have been one of the sneakers of the year last year. The green ones. I forgot her fucking name. My name escapes me. Forgive me. But I think he did a collaboration with her, and they were kind of, if I'm not mistaken, they're like a checkerboard chess set sort of design to them. So I think the design is really cool. I love that he's doing like an artist series. Hopefully he develops that in the future and we have loads of like artist limited edition type of things going forward. That's her name, yeah. Nina Chanel. Big up Nina Chanel. He did a collaboration with her. They were fucking hard, by the way. But these ones are one of my favorites. These might be one of my favorites. These fucking tree camo Crocs might be one of my favorites. Like, look at these. So you know what tree camo looks like? It's in that Crocs Pollex, obviously, silhouette. That makes the Croc look like a trainer. I don't know how he's done it because I think, in my opinion, one of the reasons why I don't like wearing my Crocs outside of just wearing them in my house is because they look like Crocs, right? But these look like trainers. Like, I don't know how he's done them with the design. I don't know what in particular he's changed. What type of thing kind of led to it. Maybe it's because the heel is closed, is a bit covered. Maybe it's this kind of fingerprint type, you know, gradient thing, whatever. Is it I think it's like a topology thing going on the top of it, that kind of symbol logo he's got going on. Maybe it's the overall silhouette and shape. Maybe it's the fact that you can't really see the outsole. Whatever he's done with them, I love that they kind of look like trainers. So I would love to wear these with a pair of cargo shorts, a pair of cargo pants, in general. And obviously the editorials he does for them as well, they look fucking sick as well and really fucking cool and really fun. Look at that clear sole as well at the bottom. Like, you can't mistake that. Like, the funny thing is, like, you see this sometimes when you go out, especially when I go to parks and stuff, or you go on a hike or you go to a festival, you'll sometimes see this print on the ground and you immediately know that somebody's wearing a pair of fucking Crocs Pollex and shit. It's kind of funny. It's kind of a great thing to kind of see, like these little prints, these kind of sole prints all over, or these footprints all over the place. And you know immediately somebody's wearing a pair of Salehe Bembury's Crocs Pollex Crocs. And again, I'm pretty sure he designed this silhouette. I'm pretty sure. And if I'm not mistaken, I think Crocs might have like taken this in-house and now they've put this out as GRs. That could be possible. I'm not too sure. But regardless, one of my favorite Crocs models, and I really want to get a pair. So fucking hard. As you can see here, tree camo. The person that's wearing them in the shoot actually has them in fucking go faster mode with the strap actually down. I tend to never have my strap down. And I think I actually wouldn't have him on these because if I'm not mistaken, I think the Crocs Pollex has a heel. Has a bit of thing that covers your heel. So you don't necessarily need to have them in go faster mode. You can have the strap at the front like how I usually wear mine, and the shoe can still kind of stay in place. I think so. The blurb here says the Crocs Pollex clog is an exploration of form and function. The Crocs Pollex is composed of 3 of his signature fingerprints merged together. So it's a fingerprint with a dramatic concave ridges allowing for the multi-directional traction. Holes found on the upper of the Croc are designed to align with the heat areas of the foot to increase breathability. So they're meant to be breathable, They're meant to be grippy more than regular Crocs, so you can wear them all day, every day. And for someone like myself who wants to be comfy and shit and wear, you know, wide, big trousers, I think sometimes wearing wide, big shoes also kind of helps with the look. So I'm all for them. I fucking love them, man. They are so fucking cool. I love them so fucking much. I love how different they look from everything else available out there. So I'll definitely be trying to get a pair of these when they eventually do drop on the 5th of June, according to Salehe Bembury here on his Instagram account. It says the Crocs Pollex Clog by Salehe Bembury, color FNF tree camo. By the way, I love that it says FNF, which I think stands for friends and family, but it's going to be a GR. Thank God. No, it's going to be available to purchase for everybody. That's a good thing. That's a fucking good thing. Thank fucking good. Thank fucking God. And a friends and family colorway for once. For fucking once, regular people can purchase them. Because one thing I hate is when people drop fucking friends and family colorways, but then you can't buy them. What's the fucking point? Why are you going to honey dick me? Why are you going to honey dick me? Why are you going to give me fucking blue balls? Why are you going to dangle that carrot in front of my face when I can't fucking purchase them? Let me purchase them. More friends and family should actually be available to purchase for regular people. They should actually obviously go ahead and make your small allocation of friends and family, special colorways, but there should be a small allocation of it reserved for people that can actually purchase them. Like imagine if a store, imagine this is a thing. Imagine if you went to a shop, right? You went to Pata to go queue up for a pair of Air Max 90s. And the first 10 people, unbeknownst to you, Pata secretly said, you know what? We're going to give the first 10 people the friends and family pair. That'd be so hard. Imagine, that would really restore the feeling in fucking going to stores and queuing up again. Restore the feeling in maybe entering a raffle and randomly, maybe you might get lucky and you might draw a friends and family pair. That actually might be a better way to go about doing things. Like imagine if you bought a pair, or if you wanted to buy a pair of shoes from Sneakers, right? On Sneakers, on the Nike app. But instead, if you enter the raffle, or if you enter the raffle at end, you could maybe be lucky enough to get the opportunity to buy a friends and family pair. That's pretty sick. Instead of just giving them away to all these influencers and you can't purchase them. It's fucking annoying. So it's great to see that they're going to be available on this website called Bees Sponge. Bee Sponge, is it Bee Sponge or is Bee Spong? BEASPUNGE.com. They're going to be available there tomorrow. I'm actually curious. What's the website say right now? What does the website say right fucking now? I'm actually curious. What does that website say right fucking now? Let's see. Bee Sponge. What does it say now? What does that website say right fucking now? Is it available? Okay, it's password protected, so we can't get into the website right now. But this website is gonna have the Salehe Bembury's FNF fucking Crocs Clogs available. By the way, is that name not the worst name ever? The Crocs Pollex Clog. It's a bit of a tongue twister, isn't it? Crocs Pollex Clog. Pollex Clog. Crocs Pollex Clog. Why don't you just call it Crocs Pollex? Why have to call it Clog? We know it's going to be a clog. It's a croc, isn't it? You don't even need to say it's a Crocs Pollex Clog, do you? But anyway, regardless, I really want them. Can't wait to get them. Hopefully they land very freaking soon. Has he got another picture of them wearing them? Yeah, that's the other pair that I was talking about. That's the other pair. That's the fucking other pair. Look at that, bro. So fucking hard. Nina Chanel Abney, the contemporary artist. The pairs were limited to 1,000. Look at them, and I think they glow in the dark too. So beautiful. One pair's got like a checkerboard black and white print on them. The other one's covered in like smiley faces almost. And then that tip, that little, it's almost like the croc tip on his one, right? That's in pink, like transparent pink. So hard, man. Look at those, so hard. That's a proper artist shoe. What, is she buying some Winsor & Newton paint there? Is that some Winsor & Newton paint? That's a proper artist. I have a studio. I go to Broadway Market on a Sunday and buy flowers. I go to really expensive coffee shops and buy flat whites. I maybe ride my bike fixed only. That's one of those type of shoes. I want one of those, mate. I wear a chore jacket, even though I don't own a screwdriver, you know. For art friends, yeah, that's really fucking art friends. Thumbs up, good job combining contemporary and abstract genius. Tony Chanel Abney's paintings capture the frenetic pace of contemporary culture. Effective, there's some of her artwork which I actually love the look of. I'm not gonna lie. Her distinctively bold style harnesses the flux of simultaneously and comes to define the 21st century, paying homage to the sophisticated color theories of Matisse. Abney's groundbreaking influence has been the center of consortium praise from art historian Richard R. J. Pohl. He notes that Abney's dramatic patterns and geometric configurations are serrated and fragments and compositional convenience and disassembling, reimagining an art and object of geodance and position both to the viewer and within the canon. So yeah, great shit, man. She smashed it. Honestly, she smashed it. One of the best collaborations I've seen in a while. I really fucking love these. Unfortunately, I didn't get a pair. And I think there was one. I think there was a Futura collaboration too, like an art one. Was it Futura or someone? I think this is the picture I saw, right? This one. Was it Futura? I think so. Was it Futura or Stash? Or I don't know who this artist was. What's this guy's name? Kenny Schraff. Kenny Schraff. This dude. He did the pair too. So these are the artist series. Pretty fucking cool, man. Hopefully there's more in the future. Maybe Futura does one. Maybe fucking Stash does one. Maybe some more younger artists come up and do one. Who fucking knows? But still, big up Blood Clot, Socky, what's his name? Silly Bembury. Let's hope when these drop, there are plentiful amounts of pairs available and I can get a pair because I fucking want a pair of these fucking camo joins. Please. Thank you very much. Please. Thank you very much. Next one. Let's talk about JJJJound. Big up Blood Clot JJJJound. JJJJound have announced they've got a new ASICS pair of GEL-KAYANO 14 2s that are going to be dropping very, very, very soon. I'm not going to lie. I'm getting a little bit bored. I'm getting ASICS fatigue. I'm getting ASICS fatigue. I'm bored of this shoe a little bit. I feel like it's overdone. It's played out. It's dead. It's boring. Allow it. You know? I'm not the biggest fan of it. But still, I have to be honest, I do love this iteration and this one version that JJJJound have put together. As per usual, I feel like they are the masters of colorway. I feel like in maybe similar to like Joe Freshgoods, similar to what's his name, the creative director now at New Balance USA from Amélie Dior. I think he colorways are killer. Who else is colorway king? I feel like there's not a lot of people. Maybe Ronnie Fag for a little bit. I think he also does kind of killer colorways. But you have to give credit to the JJJJound team, Justin Saunders and all those guys, for their ability to do like very simple colorways, combinations, but they're always very striking. Like you notice them straight away. Like you see somebody walking down the street in a pair of those, the first collaborations they did, which was those Vans old schools, I think they were old schools, the green ones. You notice them from a distance. You know immediately, all right, those are a pair of JJJJound Vans from back in the day. So I love that you can, even though this model is quite played out, even though someone to a naked eye, to the uninformed eye, you might think these are just regular GRs. If you know your shit, you'll notice them from far. Beautiful, really fresh kind of color makeups here. You've got this pair that's mostly gray with mesh with this nice sky blue tint. Fucking gorgeous, actually, especially with a mix of mesh with the white fucking midsole and the blue accents there with some of the gel units. Absolutely lovely. Then you've got the other colorway where you got more of a darker tone where it's got like a distressed, more of a yellow tint, like kind of a vintage effect on the midsole. Got a clear colorway on the gel units here on the back of the heel. Then you got these off-white. This touch is nice. It's nice, by the way. I think this really ties it together. These off-white ivory laces kind of helps to tie the whole shoe together. They could have probably gone with all white, but I think this makes it look really cool. And then on the lining, you've got black. And on the accents, you've also got black as well. I love that. That looks fucking amazing. I really fucking love that. And then, of course, and where's the JJJJound iconography? There's no JJJJound embossing or logos anywhere. On the tongue, they've got ASICS. Nothing that says JJJJound so far. Maybe on the insole. Let's check the actual other pictures here as you scroll down. You've got pictures here on the heel. Okay, there's the JJJJound. You've got a nice JJJJound logo there on the back of the heel. I kind of like that. I'm not going to lie. That's kind of hard. It's screen printed here on the back of the heel counter. You've got a nice JJJJound logo here. So people can tell that yours aren't GR. Yours are special. You have to walk backwards into rooms. That's what I'll do. I'm going to walk backwards into rooms wearing my ASICS GEL-KAYANOs. But they look fucking sick. I'm not going to lie. I really fucking like the look of them. Even on the side profile. I'm not too sure if I'm starting to lean more towards this pair. At first, I thought I liked the baby blue pair, but I think this black pair might be my favorite. But the baby blue pair looks like it's perfect for fucking summer. You know, I'd love to wear them in the festival. They'll probably get battered in the festival, but I think the baby blue pair are nice. But this black pair are really fucking cool too. There's something kind of like versatile about these, you know? I feel like I could dress these up, dress these down, but they look really, 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 really fucking cool. Oh, look at the outsole too. Look at that bright yellow accents on the outsole. I'm not, you know, outsole details don't really usually matter, but I'm assuming if Justin Saunders is as much as a Steve Jobs aficionado and geek and sycophant as I am, he probably ascribed to the design ethos of, like, you remember Steve Jobs' design ethos came from his stepdad, who used to tell him like it was as important to make sure when he's painting the fence outside their home, it was as important that he got the front of the fence to look exactly like the back. Like how you treat the back of the fence that no one can see is the attention you do, you should put into the front. So that was the reason why I think Apple devices early on were so beautifully designed. Even the circuit boards were considered, you know? You didn't just fucking chuck or stuff shit in there. The circuit board design was very, very intentional. So maybe JJJJound uses that same ethos to design the outsoles of shoes that most people don't even see, and all this detail matters, right? Getting these yellow accents in place, this really nice kind of gel, you know, plastic kind of heel counter thing that I'm sure works in terms of helping to keep your foot stable, and all these grey bits. Like, it's just a cool little tip, a cool little attention to detail that I like the look of. Let's continue to the blue pair. This is the blue pair here, which has got the JJJJound insole. So you got the JJJJound insole there, nice, which I like. There's also the same hit on the back of the heel. Oh, the baby blue pair might be harder. I'm not going to lie. The baby blue pair might be the harder pair. The baby blue pair might be the harder pair. That looks sexy. That looks fucking fresh. Wow, 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 wow. Oh my fucking God. I love that. And you got, oh, and you got the same sort of flip on the heel, on this outsole too, with the baby blue there too on the heel, on the outsole, which I also love. And of course the lining on the shoe and the JJJJound inscription on the instep, and the alternating pair has ASICS on the instep too. But these look so fresh, so hard. Woo, these look sexy. These look sexy. I like them. I'm not gonna lie. I fucking like these very, very, very much. Fuck you now. Give me more, brother. Give me more. Let's read some of the blurb. It says here, the third collaboration between ASICS and JJJJound on the GEL-KAYANO 14 revisits the late 2000s era of technical running footwear, channeling the model's inner high-performance design through redefined understated lenses. The collection introduces two versatile colorways, the white navy GEL-KAYANO 14, which pairs with inline mesh with metallic silver overlays contrasting black embossed accents, a midnight navy tiger stripe, complemented with the midnight outsole, vibrant yellow, light grey accents, and the white blue GEL-KAYANO features the white mesh, blah 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 blah. Also features the vintage Kayano Duo Max technology. Baby blue is used throughout its defining assets. GEL-KAYANO 14 honors the stability driven innovation of ASICS in the mid 2000s. Designs were maintaining its distinctive layered upper construction, equipped with gel technology, cushioning, and metallic tristic, which I'm assuming is that support system in the middle, right? In the instep here. That's that technology there. Cool. That instep technology, or that heel technology. Blah, blah, blah. Not heel, what's that thing called? Your heel arch technology. Blah blah blah. This releases, sorry, let's go there again. Equipped with gel technology, cushioning, and metallic true stick support system, the silhouette balances comfort and technical precision. This release bridges heritage running design with modern minimalist approach, making it a natural fit for both everyday wear and performance. So this, you can actually wear these to run. JJJJound are telling you, nah, put these on and go run outside. Put these on and run outside. I actually ain't mad at these actually. Because I used to, like I said, I used to work out at my Tom Sachs Miles Yards. I'm not actually mad at working out in these. They're going to be available on Thursday the 12th from 11 AM EST on JJJJound.com and select retailers globally. White color, white navy, and also white blue. Big up JJJJound, big up Blog. We ain't got to look at the box though. They don't take a picture of the box. Usually they show us what the box looks like, but The baby blue pair looks so fucking sexy, man. I'm not gonna lie. The baby blue pair looks so fucking sexy. Like, that looks like a good fucking shoe. I am really fucking eager to see that. Look at that. Oh, the detail, the mesh on that looks gorgeous. Big up JJJJound. Big up Blood Clot JJJJound. Big up Blood Clot JJJJound. We love to see it. We love to hear it. We love to be it. We love to see it. We love to hear it. Anyways, my friends, that's it. That's going to be the Action Zinga Show episode number. What was that? 910. Thank you for tuning in to Yagasino Zinga Show episode number 910. I'll be back again for another episode later. There'll be a 911 later. There'll also be a random show later. I'm going to be compounding you and bombarding you with the content today. So thank you for tuning in. If you're tuning in live, I appreciate every single one of you. For those of you who are watching this show via YouTube, listen to it via the audio app, I'm going to do something that I don't usually do, and I'm going to play my tune of the day right now. Usually I only play it with the audio side of the pod, but I thought I would honor the end of Demna's era at Balenciaga, or the penultimate collection at Balenciaga. He did a collaboration with Britney Spears, where his fiance, boyfriend, husband, I don't know, called Boyfriend, who also models and is also an artist in his own right, did a remix of two legendary Britney Spears songs, one called Gimme More and one called Oops I Did It Again, boyfriend mix remixes, which I'm going to play as my song of the day. My song of the day is going to be Britney Spears Gimme More boyfriend remix, boyfriend being the boyfriend of Demna from Balenciaga, which is going to be fitting with the show, so enjoy that. If you're listening to this via the flipping audio side of the podcast, make sure you leave me a 5-star review on whatever platform you listen to this. That'd be greatly appreciated. If you're watching via the YouTube, smash the like button, hit subscribe, join, become a member. I'm trying to hit 500 members on here as well, similar to what I'm doing on a random show. That'd be greatly appreciated. Also, I appreciate every single one of you. Thank you for tuning in. This is Britney Spears Give Me More boyfriend remix, courtesy of Britney Spears. This is my song of the day. Thank you for tuning in. I'll see you guys again very soon.
Every time they turn the lights down, just wanna go that extra mile for you. Public display of affection feels like no one else in the room. A center of attention, even when we're up against the wall, against the wall, against the wall, against. Give me more, babe, babe. I just want more. Ooh, give me more, babe, give me more, yeah. Oh, give me more, give me It's Britney, bitch. Gimme, gimme, gimme,